Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est, decumus Aurelius Ingeniarius, legatus pro praetori Australia, et tribunus plebis. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's stream this evening. We're starting a little bit, a couple of minutes behind schedule because I've been discussing with our senators in the background. Tonight is going to be the final night for one of our players, which is a little bit sad. The world outside of Rome calls, bigger and better things, made famous perhaps because of their Roman Senate career. But that's okay. So we've been discussing how we might continue this game going forwards, and it looks like we will be able to continue, which is great news. But we're going to have a normal session this evening with all of our players as anticipated, starting in the population phase as we normally do here for the 11th session. We are doing really well. Rome is in great order. Our senators are in great order and great rhythm. So let's not delay any further. I'm now going to transition across to the virtual tabletop environment provided to us by Roll20. So stick around, don't go away. We'll be back very shortly. All right, we are now live in the Roll20 virtual tabletop environment for the 11th session. We have all of our senators here. Let's do our usual sound check, senators. Everybody say salvete.
Salvete.
Yeah, good. I'm seeing some green bars there. That's perfect. Good. Very good. And I'm seeing all the smiling faces. Here we are on the virtual table. Yep, excellent. Looking good. Roll20. I'm seeing everything fine. All right. So we're now in the population phase. If you're looking at your cheat sheets there, we know how that works. So let's first of all calculate our unrest levels. Starting with a +1 for every drought. So let's just double check for any drought effects. There are no events in the forum phase right now. Let's just double check on our inactive wars. We have 2 right now. I don't see any drought effects on those, which is good. I like that. Now let's go up to our unprosecuted wars. Scrolling up to our wars section, the active and unprosecuted wars box. That's nice to see very few wars up there. Very good. We have the First Sicilian Pirates and the Second Punic War. They are both unprosecuted, so they're going to add a +2, or rather a -2 to our modifier. And what's even tidier right now is we have a 0 unrest level, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to see a -2 modifier from a negative point of view, but we know that our highest ranking available official will get to add or maybe subtract his popularity, depending on what that is. So first of all, let's hand over to the HRAO and let's hear their good words, and then we'll do our normal State of the Republic roll. So who is our HRAO, folks?
Dictator?
Yes, who is our dictator? Do we have a dictator right now?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We have Julius from the Eruditi faction, our dictator. So, yes, over to you, HRAO. Let us inspire the people with your words.
Thank you so much for giving us the chance to defeat these wars and to push us onwards into a new era of greater prosperity and good cohesion. I feel that we have a beautiful looking Senate, and the new dawn is about to age. I look forward to the new dawn coming and all of the things it may bring.
That's right. The gods have suggested a change is in the wind.
Yes.
GM, just for a second, I believe it would be -3 due to the Sicilian pirates as they create or worsen drought effects.
Very, very good spot. We saw an additional drought effect. Good. I like how you guys are paying attention. Yes, we can certainly see there. If I bring up the card on screen for everybody to see, we can actually see that little drought effect up there next to the strength token, and of course in the text of the card as well. So you are most correct. Bonus points to Quintus Octavius for noting it will be a -3 modifier. Thanks to Sempronius Agricola in chat for dropping in another 100-bit cheers. That's awesome. Great to have you on board again this evening for our 11th session. So we're going to see a -3. So now that our dictator has given his verbal State of the Republic address, let's check his popularity. So what is the popularity of Julius there?
Let's have a look.
Looks like a 9. Wow, that's a very good factor. So 9 -3, 9, 8, 7, 6. So we're going to see a +6 to the State of the Republic address. So I'm now going to change the view for everybody at home down to this table here under the population phase. I'm going to zoom in on that. Ready? Bring up our roll window. So when you're ready, dictator, if you'd like to roll 3d6, and we'll add our +6 to the result and see what happens. There's 3d6. We get a 10 + 6 is 16. which is that's a very positive roll. In fact, I don't think we've had such a great speech before, at least according to the Republic. So we've got to roll a 16, which is -1 from the unrest level, but we're already at 0, folks. So we're not going to get any less than what we currently are. But hats off to the Dictator for such a marvellous speech. The people are so happy with that. So the state unrest will stay at 0. So well done.
Good work, Julius. I could see you going places in Rome.
Excellent.
Would it be 0 or would it not have changed due to the wars and droughts?
Yeah, good question. It would be, who knows? Certainly if you had less wars, it would certainly be even better. But we note now that we are well and truly into the Senate phase. So, Dictator, you know what to do now. You've got your cheat sheet there. So over to you.
Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is the election of consuls. So I am going to have a look through, and we are going to put forward as consul for vote. So I'm just going to confirm whom it is that we can actually put forward for consuls.
While you're talking about that, I'm seeing some chat there. You guys said the unrest level would be a 2. Sorry, was it not 0 beforehand?
No, it was 0 at the start, but no one changed it to the 3 that it would be. Then it would be -1.
Oh, no. Remember, I factored that into your calculation, did I not?
The roll.
So because I reduced the 3 from the modifier, from the +9 of the Dictator?
Yeah, you're muted, Marcus.
Oh.
Marcus Tecamus, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking.
Sorry, yes, I was. Because the unrest level would increase, and it would affect as a modifier, so both would occur. So it would go to an unrest level of 3, and then the unrest level would have a -3 modifier to the roll.
So well, let's play through this as we go. So we want to roll a 10.
We rolled a 10 +6.
Right. So we had -3.
Yep.
So
that is all correct.
Right. So that takes us to a 7. But if we add +6 to that, what does that take us?
I think the roll is all correct. It's just that when we were considering the population phase, the unrest level should increase, not just be a imaginary modifier.
No, it wasn't imaginary. I thought we took that into account. So because Julius has a popularity of 9, we took 3 off that. So
yes, but the state unrest level didn't change on the board. It stayed the same. Reading off my cheat sheet, the unrest level is increased by 1 for each drought effect and unprosecuted war. I don't think we did that step. We did not do that. It stayed.
So that would become an unrest level of 3.
So are you suggesting that we perhaps applied the 3 into the incorrect area? So well, let's go through the motion then. So we rolled a 10, right? So we got a -3 off that. So that takes us to a 7.
Then we plus the 9.
Then we
so
plus the 9, which takes us to
16, which
we had before.
Right. So we haven't done anything wrong.
Our state unrest level would be 2.
Yeah, the unrest is currently 0. Shouldn't it rise, and then we do the roll after that?
Yes.
I think we're saying the same thing. We've just gone via different paths. So I guess it's provided that we take into account from the modifiers, which we did in this case, we get the same result. So, I mean, look, if you want to physically step through the notion of upgrading the unrest level first on the board, I'm happy if you to do that, and then applying the modifiers in a different order. But the results will always be the same.
I don't think it would have been, because how we had it before, we had an unrest level of 0, but now putting it into 2 different steps, we have an unrest level of 2, which I think is the correct outcome.
So let's just step through what we just did again. So just to make sure we're clear, because I'd like us to do the right thing. So we rolled 10.
No, before that, there's 2 steps. Step 1, the unrest level is increased by 1 for each drought effect and unprosecuted war.
So it'll go to 3. It'll go to 3, right?
Yeah. So we physically change the unrest level to 3. Then we do phase 2, which is the Republic speech, and that roll is as we did it before, which would give us an outcome of -1 to our unrest. So we go from a 3 to a 2.
Just say that part again for me.
We do the Republic speech as before.
we get the same roll and outcome, which gives us a -1 to our unrest, which therefore our unrest level goes from a 3, which was determined by the first step, down to a 2. So leaving the population phase, our unrest level is a 2.
Because so we applied the roll 10 plus the 9.
Yeah, I think we did all that correct. It's just that we never increased the unrest level to 3 during the first step of the population phase.
Yeah, well, that's what it says in the cheat sheet. You do the unrest level, and then you do the State of the Republic.
Right, the 3d6 plus the... Right, so we get a roll of 19, which is off the charts. Right, and then you're saying to minus the unrest level, which was 3.
Mm-hmm.
So 19.
Yeah,
So 19 minus 3 is what?
16.
16. So it's the same result as last time. So I'm not sure I understand your point.
No, we have to add to the physical unrest level on the board first. So we count all the droughts. So it would go from 0 to 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's at 3. So it's at 3 when we do the calculation. So then when we do the roll and we still minus the unrest level and the popularity, and that would be 16. So that would be -1, which would then put it down to 2 because it has to be risen to 3 first. Then we add that into the calculation, which then leaves us with the -1, which then drops the score to 2.
Yeah.
Because it boosts up by 3, and then that 3 is included in the...
The speech is not the only thing that affects the unrest level during the population phase. There are 2 different effects, both the drought and unprosecuted wars, as well as the speech.
Yeah, I get that. We took that into consideration in the first roll. I'm just so. Are you suggesting that the unrest level is not 0 right now?
Correct.
2.
So you believe it should be? You believe it should be +2?
Yes.
Because of the wars and the droughts.
Yes. The wording as I read is the unrest level is increased by 1 for each drought and
we did that.
war.
We did that.
No, we did not. We did not do that.
No, the board stayed at 0.
Yeah. So I know the board stayed at 0, but we took into account the 2 wars and the drought effect, which was 3.
Only in the roll, but that's not what it says. It says the unrest level is increased.
Well, okay. Well, let's step through again and make sure we do it right. Sure. The State of the Republic address takes into a 3d6 the HRA's popularity and the unrest level. Correct?
We all agree with that. We just never do part 1 of the Well, in this turn, we didn't do part 1 of the population phase.
Well, I did. But maybe we're on different wavelengths. But let's step through it again. So we get a +3 to the unrest level. Okay, we're happy with that.
Yes, the unrest level becomes a 3.
So as per our cheat sheet, let's do the second bit there. So we've got 3d6, which was 10. Yep. Mm-hmm. We have the popularity of the HRA, which is 9.
Yes.
Yep. Which becomes 19.
Yes.
Minusing the unrest level, which is 3.
Yes.
Gives us a total of what?
16.
16 on the State of the Republic table is -1 from unrest level.
Yes, so our unrest goes from a 3 to a 2.
I see what you're saying now. So because the unrest level is already at a 3, we're only minusing 1 from the unrest level, so we get a 2.
Yes, we just failed to account for the permanent change to the unrest level.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So
if you would like to clarify the rules, it's 1.08.
No, I'm very happy, and I now 100% see what you're saying, and it's good to receive the education. My concern is that we've been doing it wrong for the last 10 turns.
No,
I don't
we've
believe
been doing it correctly.
Yeah,
it's just this time since we took the break, we forgot about that originally.
Because certainly the approach I took tonight was the same approach I'd take for other nights, and. It's in the past. Now I'd be curious to go back and have a look to see if I'd made some other errors.
Generally, every time we did this, we took a break just in between, and you said, "Can someone update the unrest level?" Which no one did before the HRAO speech.
Yeah. Okay. In any case, I'm very impressed with you all with your attention to detail, and I love it so much that you've picked up on this. So. This is very good. Very good. And this is what happens when you try to breeze past. So I'm happy with that. I can see the unrest level now updated to what is now what I believe is the correct amount, which is 2. So well done, everybody, and you've certainly given me some homework to go back and have a look at some of the previous population phases to see where we're at. But at least we know we're correct for tonight. So everybody watching at home, that's good.
19.
Well done. Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Dictator, to run your Senate session. I apologise, everybody. That's very good. Well done, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. So we're going to do some votes on Consul and Field Consul. They can be put forward together, can't they?
They must be, I believe.
Yeah. Not
separately. They're always, the proposals are always in pairs. That's correct.
And the other question is there a strong feeling that we will be maybe getting a dictator, or probably not this time?
Yeah, I think that's a worthy consideration. So personally, I'd like to clear this Punic War.
Yeah.
So if that requires the extra strength to ensure that we win, then I'm happy for a dictator.
Aurelius himself would be happy to go for dictator, as every single war he has fought, he has not lost a single troop.
I'd just like to warn Aurelius, the last good war hero that we had was sent to his doom by the Senate. So.
Yeah, but I think mine's been proven to be quite well. I mean, you can always chuck Flaminius out there. He'll be fine dying.
Let me just check your popularity over here. Flaminius, yeah, -9. He's ready to die.
Yeah, Flaminius can die easily. Like, you guys can chuck him as Field Consul.
I'd like to see Aurelius, he of the wonderful hair, have a last jaunt around the block, but then that might stop us up for next week if Lee's not there to play him.
Yes, it's true.
But he would only have to select. He'd only have to select new consoles potentially. Oh, not even if we have.
True. So if you had a HRAO dictator and Rome consul out of the House of Julii, right, they'd run their normal Senate session this round, and they would only have to elect new consuls in the new year. Noting, of course, that like we normally do. Just like the dictator is doing now. So if we have a new player step in for the House of Julii, I think that's an easy ask for a new player to do. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if somebody else could do it, if that was, if we didn't get a new player, let's just say, I think that's easy enough that any one of us could do it.
Well, I mean, I'm here as a facilitator, right? So I can certainly facilitate and help the new player with some advice on the fly.
Yeah. I'd also suggest to the Senate, if we're looking at possible dictator candidates, we got Cornelius, who is probably on his last strong legs, possibly
perhaps
go off
Master
the
of
war.
Horse again. Did Master of Horse appeal to him last time?
But of course, always ready to fight alongside the dictator. But also noting that his influence is low and his years are old. So possibly a good place to throw a lot of influence before the end of his time.
I'd just like to say that maybe be careful if he tries to bank some influence, as he starts getting old, guys. So
just be aware of Aurelius' popularity at the moment.
That's a good point.
Yes, good point.
His hair care product range didn't go down well.
Look, Junius of how Pre-Byzantium's happy to continue his role as Rome consul. Considering his measly 2 votes, you know that he's fairly non-partisan. He's not swaying anything here, guys. So,
well, even if he is made Rome consul, more of the power may then be given over to Aurelius if he becomes dictator.
That's true. So, guys, electing me is a no-brainer.
Oh, okay. On that note, moving forward, I would like to put forward Junius for Rome consul. And I will put forward Plautius as Field Consul.
So what's Junius's number?
10.
10.
Pre-Byzantium
and Pre-Byzantium, and Plautius is 17.
Of the erudite faction.
Erudite, yep. Okay, Numerous Aurelius, can I call for your votes from the pre-Byzantium faction, please?
2 votes in favour.
Okay, can I hear from the House of Julii?
11 votes in favour.
Next, can I hear from the House of, where are we? Justitia Meritia?
I'll place 7 votes in favour.
Next, we'd hear from Tiberius, from Fortunatus Spare.
I'll have 11 in favour.
And finally, up to the House of Incognita.
7 votes in favour.
And I have 6 in favour.
So it's 44 in favour and the motion is carried.
Excellent.
Thank you for your support, Senate.
Excellent. I will be removing this as well.
So, can I please request now that the old consuls please take a Prior Consul marker, including the Dictator, not the Master of Horse. The Master of Horse is not entitled to a Prior Consul marker, but Rome Consul, Field Consul, and Dictator. If you do not already have one, please make sure you award yourself a Prior Consul marker.
Yep.
And of course, now that the consuls are elected, the old Dictator and Master of Horse also lose their office. They can go back into the sandpit.
Okay.
So be sure to do that.
So,
I guess we are, for those that are watching at home, the new consuls are perhaps discussing amongst themselves who's going to be who.
So I'm assuming you want to be the Field Consul marker.
Yes.
You're slightly stronger than me, so
Yes.
military-wise.
So who was sorry for my awareness again, and for those watching at home, who are our candidates who were elected as the consuls?
So that's Junius, ID number 10 of the pre-Byzantium faction.
I see. Yep.
And Plautius, number 17 of the Erudite faction.
Oh yeah. Cool. All right. Neat.
Yep.
That doesn't look like an inside job at all. That's very good.
Yeah. So quite fair, I think.
Well, if the Senate agrees, very good. All right, so we'll give them a moment so they can also update their influence, which is also very important.
Yep.
+5 for each. So make sure our new consuls, please make sure you also get yourselves your additional 5 influence.
Yep.
Have you done that marker, or do you want me to bring you?
If you could do that, that would be great. I actually don't have a mouse at the moment, which is even making things harder. It broke.
Oh, no. So let me just double check. I can see that, yes, Julius got his Prior Consul marker. Who was our Master of Horse last round?
It was Junius? No, Cornelius. Cornelius is Master of Horse.
Cornelius from Justitia Meritia. And Cornelius, you haven't got your Prior Consul marker. Marcus Decimus, can you hear us?
Oh, sorry, I was reading a message. Yes, I am here.
Cornelius was Master of Horse, is that correct?
Yes.
Make sure you get your Prior Consul marker. Sorry, don't. I was just that was a test. And it's good Cornelius doesn't have one. That's good. Look at me, I'm out of form. I shouldn't take a week off, should I? And who was our Roman Field Consuls last round, folks?
So that was Junius.
And I had the other one of Quintius.
Yeah, and good. Quintius has got his Prior Consul Marcus. And which faction was Junius from?
Sorry, that's pre-Byzantium.
What was Junius last round?
Oh, he was the Rome Consul, sorry.
So you can't be Rome Consul again. That's a problem.
Oh, okay.
You can't be elected consul twice unless there's a law in play. So we're gonna have to
But can
cycle.
he be Field Consul?
No, you can't be consul twice in a row. So we're gonna have to cycle this back, folks.
Okay.
So if we can reopen the floor and deduct your influence from Julius and Junius again. Yeah, you can't have consuls re-elected consecutively unless there's a law in effect, which is not in effect right now. So let's go back to the Dictator for a new proposal for a set of candidates there. Yep.
Jeez.
I'm glad we checked.
I don't think that's come up before.
It's come up before, but we caught it early. So before the proposal went down.
Jeez, guys, taking away my meager power.
Well, the military rating doesn't really matter, does it? Since we're going to appoint a dictator anyway, and there'll be only one war fort, I think. I don't think the field consul will be deployed. So on that basis, why don't we go with somebody from House of Julii? That way it's neutral outcome.
Okay. So I'm looking down and I'm seeing there's Aurelius and Fulvius, which both look pretty similar. So I am going to put forward a proposal for Aurelius to be Rome consul, and for Plautius to be field consul. Can I first hear from the House of Julii, please?
House of Julii is currently out, but I imagine he'd vote in favour. He's just rebooting after a power surge. But let's assume he votes. He's 11 votes in favour. He wouldn't reject that.
Next, can I hear from the Pre-Byzantium?
2 votes in favour.
Okay. Next, I'd like to call on Marcus Decimus from Justitia Meritia.
7 votes against.
Okay. Next, we want to hear from Fortuna's Despair.
11 in favour.
Next, we have the House of Incognita.
7 in favour.
And finally, we have 6 votes in favour from the Erudite faction.
So it's 44 to 37 in favour. Oh, sorry, 44 to... Let me try that again. 36 to 7 in favour.
Okay. All right, and now let's confirm for me the new candidates. Who are our new candidates now?
So we have Aurelius from the House of Julii.
Yep.
And we have Plautius from the Erudite faction.
I see. Very good. All right, and so you guys will certainly still want to have a discussion about who's who. Perhaps if you have Lucius Iulius on Messenger or text, that may be the best way to contact him while he's rebooting, to start having that conversation while he loads. In the meantime, we can do a bit of admin.
Is somebody allowed to be Master of Horse twice in a row?
Yeah, that's fine, because when the consuls are elected, the Dictator and the Master of Horse lose their office. So therefore, because they're not holding an office already, they become eligible again to repeat as Dictator and or Master of Horse. So that's fine. That's fine.
Excellent.
That came up as a prominent topic in one of our earlier sessions, but that was certainly confirmed with Alan Richborough that is the case. And I actually think there's a clarification going into the next version of the rules to make that really abundantly clear. So, but yes, that is definitely allowed to have a repeating Dictator or Master of Horse.
Okay, but we still need to do if there's a Pontifex Maximus. I think
that'll be a discussion for whoever the new Rome and field consuls are, or at least the Rome consul. But we're not quite clear as who that is yet, because we noticed that Lucius Iulius is still offline, unless of course he's gotten back to you over message. We'll believe you if he gives you a response.
I am the Senate.
But he'll be frantically trying to get online, just like Marcus Decus.
He's just messaged me. He wishes to be field consul.
He's coming back online there as well. So, all right, he wishes to be field consul. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I am happy with that. That is fine.
We'll see Lucius Iulius is back as well. There he is. Hey, you got power back.
My son got a new gaming computer, and something has been going on with the routers ever since then.
Oh. Right. Yes. A difficult issue. Hopefully you'll be able to work that out. All right. But it sounds like you guys have come to an agreement on consuls. Is that correct, folks?
Yes.
Now that we have a correct set of candidates, if you weren't familiar, I can't remember when you dropped out Lucius Iulius, but the first proposal was invalidated because the candidate from Pre-Byzantium, Unius, was already a consul the previous turn, and that's not allowed to be consecutively conserving consul yet. So a new proposal was reopened by the Dictator. You naturally voted in favour of it. I did that on your behalf to see the candidate from the House of Julii elected as one of the candidates, and that has now been enacted with a successful proposal passing on the floor. So if you guys can now work together, make sure you grab your appropriate Roman field consul markers. Please award yourself the influence again. I'm not sure if you've re-awarded or you took the original influence away from Plautius, but make sure that's correct now. Grab your tokens, your purple tokens, and your wooden plaques.
And
can I ask somebody to do mine? Because mine, I'm still loading roll 20.
Sure. If I could perhaps ask Marcus Decimus if you'd like to do that for Lucius Julius, please.
And I may have to get my other laptop because this one is just...
Sure. Take your time. Find your setup that works for you. There's no rush.
Guys, I feel really discriminated against. I've only got one senator, so of course I can't be elected multiple times in a row. It'd be really nice if someone would pass a law that would help me out.
I mean, the good news is you could be Dictator of Master of Horse, of course.
It was Aemilius, correct?
Aurelius.
Okay, Aurelius.
Yeah, Aurelius of the House of Julii.
Yes. I'll get his influence as
Good.
well.
Thank you.
Try something, so I may drop out again.
I'll be right back.
Yep, not a problem.
Whom was the Pontifex Maximus last turn?
Yeah, it's still Ancilius of Fortuna's Despair, so still alive and well, I see.
For now.
Yeah.
The gods are fickle.
So, just as an interesting point, if your intent is to rid or do away with the Pontifex Maximus and elect a new one, that will occur later in the Senate session. So, a new Pontifex Maximus is only elected at this point, but if you're looking to withdraw a Pontifex Maximus, that's done in the later part of the Senate session. Yep, as per the sequence.
Okay.
So outside that, it'll be then considerations between yourself and Lucius Julius about the discussions of a dictator.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
All right.
I've got it. Here we go.
While we're waiting for the consuls to have a discussion about...
Is having trouble with roll 20 tonight.
You're having some trouble?
I'm assuming nobody else is having trouble, because if it keeps up, I'll just quickly grab my other laptop.
Yeah, okay. I seem to be doing okay here. Is everybody else doing all right on their roll 20?
Yep, my roll 20 is fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I've still got a grey screen, so...
okay. Did you want to try a different device?
Yeah, I'll just quickly talk to Marker on my phone, and then...
Sure. Yep.
I'll grab the other one.
Okie dokie. Not a problem at all. All right, now the consuls are having a discussion. So that's well and good. While we're doing that, let's do a little bit of admin. The question I just want to pose to you guys is, do you guys refer to the live senator roll that I update each week? Do any of you use that at all?
Yes.
I look at it occasionally.
Yeah.
Is that the one you posted to me in email?
Yeah, that's the one I put into email for you. Yes, for your benefit, considering you're not on the group. Does everyone else refer to it?
Yeah.
Every so often.
Oh, okay, that's good. I wasn't sure if it was being used or not. If it's being used, I'll continue to update it. Yeah.
I think it's good.
Just point of order, why would I use it? What's on there that I might find useful?
So I originally brought it in because some people might find it helpful to refer to that to see which senators are options for, proposals that you might be thinking about, or to see who's got what influence or what popularity, as opposed to having to log into Roll20 and look around. It's all summarised quite neatly on a single page, really.
So
that's useful.
We are going to do the election for the Dictator and the Master of Horse.
Okay.
Well, the Master of Horse is appointed by the Dictator.
Yes. Nomenclature aside.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Junius is happy to accept Dictator. You don't need to continue with the proposal. We don't know where to start. Thank you, Lucas or Marcus. Marco.
So does that mean that censor is picked by the Dictator as well?
Nope. Censor is still a normal election. It's still a normal proposal that's voted upon, but the consuls get to appoint a dictator, assuming they agree, of course, and then the dictator, new elected dictator, then gets to appoint his Master of Horse.
Okay, but the one for proposing the censor is still put forward by the Rome Consul?
No, it'll be the highest ranking available official as presiding magistrate who will put that proposal forwards, which will be the dictator. If you appoint a dictator, that is.
I forgot about that bit.
Yeah, so once you've appointed a dictator...
Yes, as soon as you appoint the dictator becomes the HRAO. So, noting that information, it sounds like you may want to reconsider your thoughts with the other consul. That's fine. Take your time.
If I'm elected censor, I will be prosecuting to full extent of the law. Maybe that's in your benefit. Maybe I'm not coming after you. I'm on your side. Just think about that.
And as you consider your options for dictator, don't forget, age limits as well. If they're 7 or older, they can't be sent out of Rome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too old and feeble. But they can still be appointed dictator, of course. That's certainly not an issue, but you'd probably be relying on your field and Rome consul then to fight your wars, which may not be a problem, but worth thinking about. Sometimes that's a strategic option, but then again, it sort of becomes a moot point. If you can't send your dictator away, then why are you appointing one in the first place? Obviously, you're just giving somebody free influence.
The veto nullification.
True. Yes, true. That is obviously another reason why you'd also do it, is the inability to veto proposals put forward by the dictator. Yes, of course. Very good. Well done. Well pointed out.
But we were still keen to have the dictator because it does provide us the extra power with the war.
It does, yes.
Okay, so we had still like Emilius from the House of Incognita, which we were thinking of dictator. There's also Cornelius's military as well too, is 4 as well. But is he too old?
No, he is 1 year away from being too old. That's why I was suggesting now would be a good time. He wouldn't gain enough influence to retire, and this would be his last post.
He might not gain enough influence this turn, but it's not like he's going to drop dead instantly after this turn. So he still has the potential to get influence. So
true, but same as everyone, really.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's a good suggestion for Cornelius.
Yep, and there's also still, Master of Horse. But I suppose...
that would be up to the dictator, so...
Yeah, that would be up to the dictator. But then I was still thinking about the election of censor as well too, being, I suppose, a more contentious point, I think.
Which would then go to the dictator, I believe, as the...
choice, yes.
Highest ranking available officer.
Yes, and that was the thing that I think I forgot when I was thinking through it.
I think looking at the maths, Junius of the pre-Byzantine thing could be dictator. Along with Master of Force, we would still have enough to win the wars. So.
So you're...
That doesn't sound very positive.
If you want to argue against it, feel free.
Ooh.
So our consuls still deliberating, for those watching at home, still discussing dictator appointments and who might do what, and it's good to see them thoughtfully considering this. I like to see that.
Okay.
Yes, no rush. Take your time. It's like chess sometimes. You've got to think a few moves ahead as well.
Okay, so where are we? I'm gonna put forward for pardon.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm like, what? Okay, so
Somebody's yelling Paprius.
We've just about covered every single person on the board now.
It's really difficult.
I think Papyrus is in a good position. That's just my humble thoughts.
Good. Still lots of discussion happening. Lots of background discussions, perhaps as well, maybe.
Hello.
And I'm certainly getting asked lots of questions in the back end too from everybody. I like to see it. It's good.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to put forward as dictator Cornelius from the house of Justitia Meritia. And we were thinking Emilius was a very good second option, so perhaps would be considered to be Master of Horse.
Thank you very much, Consul. I'm quite happy with that proposal.
So let's just double check. So both consuls are in agreement?
Yes, we are.
Good. And sorry, who was the dictator appointment?
Cornelius.
Cool.
Cornelius from Justitia Meritia.
All right. And certainly Cornelius knows what to do. So if you want to grab all your badges and plaques and influence.
All right. Thank you very much. I will go take my plaque. If the Senate don't mind while I just go ahead and move some things around. I would like to thank the consuls for their vote of support as I take forth the position of controlling the Senate and Greater Rome. So at this point, I will be appointing my Master of Horse, and I shall appoint at this stage Emilius from the House of Incognita.
Thank you very much for this appointment.
Cool. And you know what to do as well. Grab yourself your stuff. Make sure you've both received your influence too, please. 3 for Master of Horse and 7 for the Dictator. I see Cornelius has updated his. Very good.
Next stage will be electing a censor. And I think at this stage, I am going to put forward a proposal that...
Hang on, I just need to catch up, sorry.
Sorry.
So who are the dictators? Cornelius number
1 is appointed dictator. And then the dictator appoints Emilius, which
19.
is 19 from the House of Incognita as his Master of Horse.
All right, thank you.
I am just having a look at possible censor options.
Take your time. Anybody with a Prior Consul marker that's not already holding an office? And is in Rome, of course?
Yes. I think given the cheers from the crowd about Papyrus in the possible dictator election, I think I will put forward a proposal that we will see him be given the role of censor. I will hear from Fortune Despair on this proposal.
What's the number?
11.
Ah, yes, Papirius, 11 from Fortuna's Despair, I see.
That's 11-4.
And how much influence is it again for the B censor?
5 influence. 5. Yep.
5. 26. 6 years old. He could be retired. It's a good bit of influence saved away, guys.
I'll hear House of Incognita.
7 against.
I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
6 against.
I'll hear from the pre-Byzantine faction.
2 against.
I shall place my 7 votes for the proposal, and I'll hear from the House of Julio.
11 votes against.
All right, Scriber, I will hear the results of the vote.
So it's 18 for and 26 against. So the motion is denied.
Very well. I have heard the calls from the Senate. I shall move on to a different proposal for the censor position. I will propose that the current running censor, Cornelius, be re-elected as the censor.
Who was it? Sulpicius?
Sulpicius, yes. Number 15. From the House of Julia, I'll hear your votes first.
11 in favour.
Fortune's Despair.
11 in favour.
I'll hear from the House of Incognita.
7 against.
I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
Oh. I will abstain.
Very well. I'll hear from the pre-Byzantine faction.
Two votes against.
And I will abstain from this vote. Scriber,
where did your votes go? Sorry, Marker.
I was abstaining on it.
How many abstained? Sorry.
Oh, 6.
And I'll have 7 votes abstaining as well.
So 22 for, 9 against, and 13 abstained. So the motion's passed.
All right. Thank you very much, Scriber. At this stage, I will hand over the... Actually, I should grab my plaque as the presiding magistrate. I will hand over the floor to the current censor for any prosecutions they may wish to do.
Thank you. And Sulpicius is happy to continue the role that he's had for some time now. And in the interest of Rome, Sulpicius will be putting forward a prosecution this turn. It'll be a minor prosecution. And the Senator Papyrus is being called before the board to explain his corruption, money hoarding, and targeting of other senators. So at this stage, I'll be looking for somebody who wants to do a prosecution.
Sorry, who's the senator
Papyrus,
under prosecution?
Papyrus of Fortune's Despair.
So I have a question here. So I'm not seeing any corruption on Papyrus there.
Yeah, he doesn't have it because the shipbuilding hasn't come out because we haven't bought a fleet.
Yeah, we did build a fleet last turn.
Now, I just want to check. So Papyrus wasn't a major office last turn. He wasn't a consul or anything? Just hasn't forgotten the major marker? No. So Papyrus is not eligible for prosecution. He is a clean man from what I can see there.
Okay, then. Well, and then in that case, there will be no prosecutions this turn.
That's about half an hour of wheeling and dealing down the drain.
There's always the Pontifex Maximus with his -2 popularity as well, who holds a major corruption.
I would just like to hold accountable the people that voted against me as censor, as I would have been prosecuted to the maximum, but I digress. Please.
I didn't get an opportunity to vote for you.
You could have voted against the proposal, but...
I didn't know there was an alternative on the floor.
Well, I'm seeing lots of red markers and lots of corrupt concessions out there.
Personally, I'd try and prosecute the dictator.
Yeah. Censor, can we get a confirmation on your actions?
Yes. So there will be no prosecutions this term. We'll be moving right along.
Very well.
All right. So before we move on,
I haven't updated Sulpicius yet because I can't drag anything.
That was my first question. So if somebody wants to help Sulpicius get his influence, please, for the office.
Because while the dictator talks, I'm going to quickly change computers.
Good. Excellent. And the other thing we've got to announce, of course, is everybody get rid of your corruptions.
Huzzah!
So if you have a red major corruption marker, you may put those back on the sides of the board now. And if you are holding a corruption from a concession currently on one of your cards, you may now hide that corrupt portion. Now, the only corruption, of course, you will keep is a governor corruption if you've got one, but I'm pretty sure there is only one governor right now, Aurelius, who's got the governor corruption. Everybody else is clean. So there should be only one corruption marker left on the board by the time we do this quick tidy up.
Very well, let's just have a quick pan up towards any of our governorships. They look to be fully populated at this stage. We now go on to other business. At this stage, I will open the floor to the Field Consul, which I believe is from the House of Julii, to give the Senate an update, unless he's rebooting his computer.
Which he probably will be.
Yes, I'm trying to scroll in on the.
In that case, I shall
back.
pass this responsibility on to the Rome Consul from the Erudite faction. Can you please give the Senate an update on the current status of Rome and its enemies?
On mute, Marco.
Sorry, apologies. I thought it was the Field Consul who gave the update. I'm the Rome Consul.
Yes, currently the Field Consul is predisposed with rebooting his computer, so I have issued the Rome Consul take over that role for the time being.
Okay, so generally the state of Rome is looking excellent. The state of unrest is only on 2. We have, though, a few wars that are happening up on the... Where are we? We still have the Sicilian pirates and the Second Punic War. But generally, our fleets are looking strong. We seem to have adequate provincial legions, and even the state of our the governorships will also look strong as well too. Sicilia looks very well manned as well. So all in all, everything is looking generally quite in good shape, and let's hope that that continues.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rome Consul. So let's just go through the minor proposals quickly. We have some awards to hand out. We have the medal for Julius for fighting in the Third Macedonian War, as well as an Eagle of Supremacy for taking no legion losses during the battle, as well as a campaign clasp, the second clasp for service. And we also have a medal for myself, who was acting as Master of Horse during the last war, as a campaign medal for the Macedonian War. I'll allow those senators to come up and take their awards.
I'll fix Julius's up with his clasp, because that can be a bit fiddly. So I'll do that for you now, Julius and Marco Edia. Fix up the medal strip for Julius there. Here we go. Let's get this going. Make that all
Congratulations
nice and
to those senators.
Indeed.
Thank you for your service.
So
Rome
we are
salutes
now
you.
in the optional sections, right? The anytime stuff.
Correct.
All right. Flaminius would like to make an assassination attempt.
Oh boy, it's
Very
on.
well.
Unlike Donkey Kong. Okay.
Can you make assassination attempts at any point, or is it?
Cornelius?
Yep. Well,
Correct.
you technically have to wait until after the first 6 mandatory steps are done, but as soon as that is done.
Brutus, you too.
I thought it's actually, if you look, assassination attempts is in the anytime optional box, so you could even do it before the consuls are elected. But one is happening now anyway. So let's ask the prominent question: is who's doing the stabbing?
Flaminius.
And do you have one of the cards as well too? Because you can get cards to help.
We'll work that out in a minute. So Flaminius is doing some stabbing there. All right. Who is the? And I guess cards are relevant here, but who is the target?
Papyrus or Papyrus or however you pronounce it.
Papyrus of Fortuna's Despair is the target. Now, is there any cards being played by either side?
Nope.
No cards in play that we need to be concerned about? All right, very good. I'm now going to change the view for my own pleasure, but also if everybody's viewing at home, to the assassination table, and that's in the little Senate phase box down there. So I'm going to zoom in. It's a pretty simple table. But it has some dramatic effects. There are no bad omens we need to worry about, which is good. In just a moment, Flaminius of the House of Incognita is going to roll a 1d6. If he rolls a 5 or a 6, we will see Papyrus killed, and then there are no further events to the game other than that we wipe Papyrus off the face of the earth. A 3 to 4 means there's no effect, there's no consequences, there's no killings. Everyone just moves on with their life as if nothing happened. And if he rolls a 2 or less, the assassin is caught, and there's a whole world of hurt for the House of Incognita, which would have to step through very, very slowly. So, right, so there's obviously a lot of inherent risk on an assassin, but I guess the rewards are beneficial if you see the value in that. So
what are the risks on the person doing the assassination attempt? Sorry.
So a court assassin is killed straight off the bat, right? But then the faction leader is also the subject of a special major prosecution, which is held there and then by the censor, presided over by the censor, and then the results for that is also essentially where he must take a popular appeal. You know, and it's a lot of bad stuff.
You lose 5 influence from your faction leader.
Correct. You automatic loss of influence and stuff.
The target's popularity.
That's right. So there's a few modifiers and effects that we need to take into account. So you've really got to be sure that it's worth it to undertake an assassination attempt. Is the death of that senator really worth it in your eyes? And in this case, House of Incognita thinks it is. So when you're ready, Flaminius, assassin, would-be assassin, please roll your 1d6 and let's see what happens. Well, it's a 5. Flaminius has been stabbed, and the assassin is otherwise unknown. Well, we all know, but the assassin gets away with it. Cold blood. So a 5 is solid. So let's scroll our view over to Flaminius of... Papyrus. That's right, who was the target. And we're unfortunately going to have to say goodbye to Papyrus here. He had
a good innings.
Yeah, he had a good run. Let's start with putting his concession into the sandpit. That will go into the forum for the consideration of the Senate. His medal, of course, will stay with your faction. You can pop that into a corner at your leisure to be looked upon fondly of histories gone by. And all the money and all the tokens all goes to the bank. And because this was not a natural death, Papyrus here will go to the Curia. So all the money goes to the bank, all the tokens back to the bank, and that's right. Papyrus will go into the Curia, where he will join long-standing residents Fabius and Valerius, although Valerius has been there the longest, I think.
That's been planned for 2 weeks. I've been waiting.
2 weeks. Sharpening a knife for 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right. And now we move on with our lives as if nothing happened, folks.
You can just do an assassination willy-nilly.
You can only do 1 per turn.
Only do 1 per turn, and you can only be the subject of an assassination attempt 1 per turn. So Fortuna's Despair can't be targeted again this round.
But what does 1 per turn mean? Is it 1 time total?
No, 1 term per year.
As soon as you play your assassination, you can't do any other assassination for that Senate phase. The next Senate phase, you can do another assassination.
So we could still see another assassination attempt, but from somebody else, with a faction target from another faction.
That's what I mean, hypothetically.
I guess hypothetically 6 would be the max assassinations.
And you don't even need a card for that. I didn't realize.
No. You don't. It's something that you can call. But
cards help.
Cards help with that, of course. But the risks are large. You've only got a 4 in 6 chance of getting away with something, a 2 in 6 chance of success, and a 2 in 6 chance of being completely and utterly annihilated for your attempt. It is quite risky.
There's not much downside for me.
Oh yeah, if you die, your whole thing's gone. I believe
it's not the end of the world.
But
I got a 66% chance of winning.
Now the thing is, if hypothetically here, if Unius attempted an assassination and failed, he is out of the game, and it's the only way you can get completely annihilated from this game is if you fail an assassination attempt with your last senator.
It's kind of like Blaze of Glory, isn't it?
Even if through natural death Unius dies and he loses his card for whatever reason, Numerius Aurelius is still in the game. But if he fails an assassination with Unius, then he is out. It's the only way he can get eliminated.
Guess I just have to.
I believe if he gets assassinated as well, he has nothing in return.
So if Unius is assassinated, that's not a problem for Numerius Aurelius. He can keep playing, and in fact, then he gets eligible to draw a card from the Curia. So it won't eliminate him if Unius is assassinated.
So I just wanted to confirm that these assassinations could continue from this point onwards at any point?
Assassinations can occur at any time in the Senate phase, but noting that everyone only gets 1 per turn.
I could have assassinated the person who was selected for Dictator if I wanted to before it
Correct.
happened.
Or the person proposing it.
There are slight rules that do not allow you to assassinate in certain times, but we have not met any of those targets.
No, I'm pretty sure there's no prohibitions, provided it's within the confines of the Senate timing, i.e. the moment the roll is done in the population phase to the time that the presiding magistrate calls a close to the Senate. As assassination can occur any time in there, including during a vote, right? Now, noting sometimes it won't have your desired outcome. So if there's a vote already on the floor, the vote's going to continue, but with the next presiding magistrate, if the presiding magistrate is assassinated, for example. But if a candidate is assassinated, that obviously cancels the current proposal. Obviously, somebody's pretty happy with some of their roles.
Tossing up the
right.
You were just pretending, were you?
I got 2/3 chance of succeeding massively.
In any case, we are free to proceed with the Senate phase now. We are now done with the logistics of that assassination attempt.
Yeah.
That was very swift and very clean.
Indeed.
Very
I didn't
quick.
even see it happen.
I was still just...
The only thing I'd say now is for Fortunatus to spare to update their faction and influence and faction votes too.
Yeah, I've done all that.
Good work. Well done.
Now, if the blood has been swept off the marble floors, we shall continue.
Can I just ask one quick point of order, if that's all right, Dictator?
Yeah.
But of course.
So you could target anyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even the Dictator right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Just note the consequences of a failed assassination attempt. I want to heavily look. If you're thinking about doing an assassination attempt, go look it up in the rules or the guide I have on the Facebook group before you do it.
Quintus of Tuavius had a good roll there, in terms of rolls. That was like...
You got a 1/3 chance of losing the game.
What did I miss?
I assassinated Papyrus.
A successful assassination attempt.
So he no longer is.
Yeah, Lucius, you could assassinate the Dictator right now, and there wouldn't be much downside. You could do it. You got a 2/3 chance of not even having a negative outcome. I think that's pretty good odds.
Allow me to give you a tip, right? One of the things you'll see in a lot of advanced games and players that have played this a lot is you essentially want to force somebody else to do an assassination attempt, right? That is usually what you see being played, or people will never usually want to do the assassination themselves because of how risky it is to their own faction. Often you see people trying to force somebody else to try to do an assassination attempt because sometimes the risk is too great. So my word of advice for everyone, if you're thinking about it, read the rules first. In particular, what the consequences are is if you fail and roll a 1 or a 2.
The consequence of the rule is 1.09.74.
You got 66% chance, guys, of not even having any negative effects. So,
assuming the target doesn't play special cards, which can change the balance of that probability.
That's true. But I can tell you in advance who might have a special card, so you should ask DM me, guys. I might have inside knowledge to help you in your calculations.
I've said what I needed to say. It's over to you guys.
Order in the Senate. We shall continue along with the Senate phases.
Right.
We have a number of concessions we need to issue out to the Senate. I've had an opportunity to have a bit of a glance at the income streams of the different factions. Looking at the different possibilities, I'll be looking to add concessions both to the Fortune's Despair faction as well as my own faction of Justitia Meritia. So, first one, I'll be looking to issue the Sicilian grain concession, and they'll be being issued to, if I say it right, Cornelius, number 5.
I was hoping to have the shipbuilding one back. That was my little pleasure in life.
I'm sure.
What factions
I am sure. I'll hear the votes for the proposal. I'll hear from Fortune Despair first.
Hang on. So, what's the proposal that
the Sicilian grain concession be issued to number 5?
And what's the grain number?
Grain number.
It's just a Sicilian grain.
Yeah, it's not like the tax farmer concessions. It's just called Sicilian grain.
And which senator is it going to? Sorry.
Claudius, number 5.
Claudius, yes, of Fortune's Despair. And I'm hearing his vote first.
We'll vote 8 in favour.
I'll hear from the House of Incognita.
7 against.
I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
6 in favour.
I'll hear from the Byzantine.
2 in favour.
Fortune's Despair, just quickly, point of interest, you're shortchanging yourself by 1 vote.
Am I?
Yeah, so you've got 4 votes on Furious, 3 on Claudius, and 2 on Achilles. That's 9, is it not?
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yep.
So let's go back. So I had 9. Somebody had 6.
Yep, Scriber, just let me know when you're ready to continue.
Yeah, Quintus had 7. Where are we up to after that? Up to Aurelius.
Pre-Byzantine placed their 2 votes for.
Right, thank you.
Justitia Meritia will be putting their 7 votes for the proposal. And I'll hear from the House of Julii.
11 votes for.
Scriber, I'll hear the results.
So 35 for and 7 against.
All right, thank you very much. The next proposal will be for the shipbuilding concession. I'll be looking to issue that to Quinticus, 18, from the Justitia Meritia faction.
Yeah.
I will hear from Fortune's Despair first.
Are these vetoable?
No, because he's the dictator.
And I believe it's concessions are not vetoable.
You can vote against it, of course.
Yeah, so I'll vote 9 against.
Very well. I'll hear from the House of Incognita.
7 against.
I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
6 abstain.
I'll hear from the Pre-Byzantine.
2 against.
I'll place my 7 votes for the proposal. I'll hear from the House of Julii.
11 against.
All right. I will hear from the Scriber.
29 against, 7 for, so the motion fails.
May I raise an interesting observation here? So, the Erudite faction abstained. Now, if the Erudite faction would have happened to have voted against that proposal, who can tell me what would have happened?
I would have an opportunity to either step down or lose influence, if I remember correctly.
Correct. That's right. So you guys could have forced the dictator to either lose 1 influence or to step down as presiding magistrate. But potentially that was a political decision by Erudite to abstain and therefore not force that outcome. So I just wanted to point that out.
We could vote the same way, Marker, next time if you vote against. It's a strategy. Just putting that out there.
Well, I was also just thinking that, people also have the option of slowly whittling somebody down as well. Anyway.
Maybe you should vote against Mark or I'll assassinate you. Carrot and stick.
Threatening assassinations.
Threatening already.
Someone's messaging me about assassinations, guys. Would you like to know who it is?
Everyone.
Some guilty parties here.
I'll put forward a proposal that the shipbuilding
you cannot do that.
What can't I do?
You cannot send another concession for voting again.
Correct. The concessions are limited to only one proposal per turn. That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was okay. In that case, that concession is blocked for this this turn.
Good one, Quinticus. Okay. Well done. Good one, Quintus Octavius.
Can I just ask, did somebody update Sulpicius with the 5, or do I still need to do that?
I believe needs to be updated. I believe you still need to add your 5.
Yeah, because I thought he was already at 20 Yeah. Okay,
yes.
You updated somebody, Justitia Meritia, before from House of Julio, though, didn't you?
I believe so.
Yeah, because
I brought over the field console.
Oh, is that all you did? You didn't update? I thought you did update their influence. I heard you whisper it or something, or state it out loud.
For the field console, he was talking about his sensor.
Oh, I see. Yep, I'm with you. Yeah. That's good. I'm pleased that people are getting their influence. Yeah, good.
I think I'll open the floor to discuss if we need to revoke any land bills. I think if we were to do so, while the unrest level is as low as it is, now would possibly be the time to do so. I would like to hear the opinion of the floor.
It's only £10 a year, so I say leave it.
It doesn't have any effect right now, does it? Isn't it
no.
useless?
It's just costing you money, that's all.
And I guess we should also take into account revoking it will increase the unrest level. In that case, I believe we may just leave the land bill as is for now. Our treasury is looking quite fine, considering also noting the amount of forces we have raised. I believe we're now more into looking at the actual wars. Basically, my opinion is now is the time for Rome to face the Second Punic War. We've allowed the war to wage on for 4 years. They've captured one of our provinces that we wish to gain back for allow the prosperity of Rome to continue. We certainly don't want to leave this war until they're literally outside the gates of Rome, possibly in another 2 to 3 more years. Given the size of our forces, given that we have elected a dictator, which basically brings the strongest military minds to bear against the Punic War that Rome currently has to offer, I think now is one of our best possible times to do so. With that in mind, let's just go through the steps to check if we need to raise any more additional forces or fleets. There is no naval battle to consider. We do need 5 supporting fleets. As I glance down to our active forces, we would have the correct number of fleets to be able to send. I don't think it's worth...
send the Dictator and Master of Horse, we will have enough for a +10 or +11.
Sorry, how many fleets do you have right now?
I count of 7.
Oh, cool. 7. Excellent. Just checking. Thank you.
I believe we'll have a +10 or +11 if we send
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Do we want to discuss how many active forces could we raise, noting our limited of 25 legions that can be raised?
So just for the records, what you see in the force pool is correct. I've removed the base legions who have a veteran status off field, so you can't see them and get them confused. So judging by this, you can only raise another 5 to get to limit.
Yep. I was only thinking that out loud, is if we would ever consider not sending veterans to ensure that if there are losses that we don't lose valuable veterans. Mainly just thinking that out loud.
We need to send at least 4 veterans for a +10.
Yep. So are you stating if we send our current active forces, including 4 veterans leaving, 4 veterans at home, we would still get our +10?
We would need to recruit 5.
Okay, so recruiting the 5, which would cost us 5.
I mean, we can do the math
talents?
just to make sure we're all...
Sure.
So you got the 12 from the veteran legions, which would subtract that, and we got the 9, 12, 14, plus that, 14, 12, 26 force troop total, plus 8, which would bring it up to 34. And the strength of the Punic War, I believe, is 23, which gives us +11.
Okay.
And our +12 alone is from our veterans.
Yep. And when you're doing the math, you're including the province in the strength
Yes,
of the
that would be
Punic?
correct.
Okay. Taking a note that there are some pretty deadly disaster and standoff numbers, but I think we've more or less reached the stage where brute strength is the only way we can address running directly into this war. Can I hear the feeling from the Senate with the idea of trying to reserve our legions for a possible second go at the Punic War if we were to roll one of these disaster or standoffs, or what others' opinions could be?
Well, I think based on the numbers, because they're pretty close to the middle of the distribution table for the D6, reserving will probably be a safe measure that I would support.
If we do raise the +5 as well, and we want to just go for a +10, we can keep 3 legions at safe in our active forces pool.
We could even go for like a +8 to be slightly riskier. Of course, talking about the distribution curve, that would only if we rolled, the minimum and just reduce the amount of losses we would have if we do roll a more likely disaster of stalemate. With just my thinking that we might have to bash our head against this war 2 to 3 times. And just minimizing our losses as much as we can.
Yeah, so I mean, what's the the min-max amount that we would need to send? I guess what's going to get us the most bang for our rolls, but also minimize our downside.
Well, let's go have a look at our combat table. Obviously, I think what we've been going off as a default is a +10 to our roll. That's because if we roll a 3, which is the absolute minimum, so if a 3 was absolute minimum, the +10 would be a stalemate, no losses. So we would have a possible 3 as a not victory, if we could call it. Yeah. And then anything above that would become victory with certain losses, and then probably getting into a more likely roll of 6, 7, 8s. We're starting to get victory with not many losses at all. So I guess... go on.
Is the standoff numbers from the straight roll, or is that the total? Or could it be both?
No, it's from the unaffected, unmodified roll.
Okay.
Yes, because remember there's stalemates and standoffs, which are different. The standoff is where we lose the quarter. Mm-hmm. A stalemate is just a pure neither of us win, and then you just take the losses as per the table.
We got like a 15 or like a 5 or a 6, we could get those standoff numbers, but
So I guess Dictator, qualitatively, just looking at what's your gut feeling of what would be a reasonable amount to send, but also, not too much, not the maximum.
Yep.
Just
plus
gut
7.
Feeling,
plus 7 has always been my gut feeling.
Okay, so
that a minimum roll of a 3 plus the 7 is a 10. Yeah. Would be a 10 roll of a stalemate of 3 legions lost, 3 fleets lost.
We cannot roll a 10. That's a disaster.
Yeah, but that's kind of separate to the.
The 10 roll was purely just the results from the combat. That would be us rolling a 3, so 3 ones, with the idea of minimizing our losses from a disaster or standoff.
So is that +7 you said?
That's kind of my gut feeling, and just letting the Senate know that the minimum possible roll from the combat results would be a 10 in that case.
And do we lose that one?
We don't lose. What we do is not win.
I mean, like lose troops.
Yes. The worst case scenario from the combat results would be a stalemate with 3 legions and 3 fleets lost. So a cost to the Republic of 60 talents to rebuild those fleets.
But we could save 3 veteran legions and 1 regular legion.
Yes. The idea is we then lose less if we do a disaster or a standoff.
But if we're talking money-wise, it would be best then to save regular legions over veteran legions, because that would then require us to spend less money.
Yeah, but veteran legions overall has like a lower upkeep, and it's harder to like get them back. Once we get past this phase, the veteran legions will be very valuable, keeping our upkeep low and mopping up a lot of these smaller wars.
Yeah, I think if you look at the opportunity cost of that, obviously, veteran legions more beneficial to keep around.
I think we'll be fine on money, so I don't think that would be an issue. So I think we'll be fine with sending and keeping veteran legions.
All right, Quintus, Octavius, I know you've been looking at the numbers, I think, closer than I. Could you re-evaluate what forces we would need to send, prioritizing regular forces so that we would have a +7 land modifier?
We would have to save 3 veteran legions and 1 regular legion.
Okay, and then
would that be include the Dictator and Master of Force?
Yes, of course. Would that be raising any additional?
That would be raising.
All right, so with the idea of saving 1 regular, then we would just not raise 1 regular. So be raising 4 regular legions?
That would be correct, I believe.
Okay, yep. So it'll be raising 4 regular legions, sending every regular legion, and 3 veteran.
Oh, well, that would...
Satisfactory to me.
So you're going to put a proposal forward?
I'm just confirming with Quintus Octavius first, if we're both in agreement with the mathematics.
I'm just checking again. So we're saying we're not going to raise 1 legion?
Yes, so we would raise 4 regular legions, send all those regular legions and 3 veterans.
That's going to be close. Might need your Word document. It might need to come up for that.
All right. So it's how many regular legions do we currently have? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14?
14 regular legions.
14 plus raising 4 more legions.
Would put us at 18, yeah.
Then we go +6 for the 3 veterans. And then we go +8 for our military leaders they'll be going. So we got a 32 lane strength.
And that would put us at a +9, I think.
All right, let's have a look. So that's +18. So that's 23. So minus 23. That's got us +9. So we can choose to send 2 less. So they'll be reducing it by 1 more veteran. Okay. So Senate, this is the idea so far. We're aiming for a +7 as a land modifier. That would mean our minimum roll on the combat result table would be a 10, is then a stalemate with 3 legion losses, 3 fleet losses. So a roll of a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6 would equal not a victory. But obviously that's at the lower end of our distribution curve. Let's just have
18 to 3 ratio of getting this veteran legions that we do send selected for death, if we do.
We would raise 4 more legions, sending all of those and sending 2 veterans. That would allow 4 veterans to remain in Rome safe for a possibility of having to raise and send more forces to prosecute the Second Punic War next year.
Should we raise an additional, I believe it would be 3 fleets, or whatever it would be subtracted, just in case we do end up with the possibility, so we can keep this as a prosecuted war and not have to suffer any consequences?
I think we should raise the fleets that we need for the pirates now, while the shipbuilding concession is in the is not in the possession of anybody, which will eliminate the danger of assigning the shipbuilding to somebody next time, and therefore having the same issue that Marcus ran into today.
All right, so I'm thinking of raising the 5 regular legions to get us to a +8, because I think that I would like to be safe on a 6 roll as well. So if I'm thinking of having to spend 50 talents on legions, and then there would be 3 talents on fleets, because if we're going to raise any fleets, it'll be to get to the 10 point, which would mean if we do a disaster where we lose half, it would still be classed as a prosecuted war, as we would have the number of legions. So that would be a raise of 80 talents worth of forces. Which would then put us on, what, 55 talents?
Yep. 55.
So we're still above kind of the magic 50 number, but we are feeling pretty low.
I will say, due to the Sicilian pirates, I do get a decent amount of income from the concession card I have. So yeah. I will be able to donate a decent chunk of money to at least probably 15 or more.
Yeah, make sure you consider upkeep.
Yeah. I think either this will go well, we'll crush the Punic War and have plenty of legions to look at prosecuting more wars going on, and we gain the 25, or we'll probably lose a fair chunk of these legions and not have to worry about the income afterwards.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win with a slight loss.
Would anyone else like to put forward their opinion about the discussion of war?
Dictator, I'm more than satisfied.
All right.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it.
In that case, I'll put forward a proposal that we would be raising 5 regular legions and 3 fleets for a total cost of 80 talents to the state treasury. I'll hear from the pre-Byzantine faction first.
2 votes in favour.
I'll be placing my 7 votes in favour for the proposal. I'll hear from the House of Julii.
11 votes in favour.
I'll hear from Fortune's Despair.
9 votes in favour.
I'll hear from the House of Incognita.
7 votes in favour.
How many, sorry?
7.
I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
6 votes in favour.
All right. Scriber, I'll hear the results.
42 zip.
All right. Make it so. Can I hear from Numerous Aurelius? Would you be so inclined to bring those forces to the active forces box?
Can do.
Thank you very much. In that case, if there are no other business or minor proposals, I think the final proposal I'll be issuing for this Senate phase I will be putting forth all regular forces, as well as 2 veteran legions, and the entire Roman fleet of 10 fleets will be issued to the Dictator and Master of Horse to go forth and prosecute the Second Punic War post-haste. I will hear from the Erudite faction.
So, just sorry, before you go, how many regular legions?
All right, let me get an actual number. So I believe that should be 6 minus the 25, so it should be 19 regular legions and 2 veteran.
Do you have the numbers for the veteran legions?
2 and 14, I believe it is.
Yes. As well as 10 legions.
10 fleets, yep.
Yes, sorry, correction. And when the Dictator and Master of Horse will prosecute the Second Punic War. I'll hear from the Erudite faction.
6 votes in favour.
I'll place my 7 votes in favour. I'll hear from the Byzantine faction.
2 votes in favour.
House of Julio.
11 votes in favour.
I'll hear from Fortune Despair, noting his Pontius Maximus powers.
Oh yeah, what's the addition of that?
Double.
Double his personal votes, not your faction votes.
Oh, okay, so that's 11 in favour.
And the House of Incognita.
7 in favour.
So that's 44 in favour.
In that case, I shall, with the proposal passing, I shall close the Senate phase.
Very good.
Marcus Decimus, I put the Away from Rome marker on to your Senator fleet.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Good admin.
Good work, Master of Horse.
Yes. Good work, Master of Horse. All right, let me
Let's
also
add
do a
some
bit
more
of
medals to my collection.
tidying up here. Yes. more medals to add to your chest. That's good. You don't have a Punic War medal yet for Aemilius yet, do you?
I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. He'll get one shortly.
I need to add it to his 7 or 8 war medals now.
And with an enemy leader pip as well. You don't have any campaign medals without an enemy leader pip. You're doing really well.
I know, I'm smashing it.
Now, I wonder if this now is the largest
right.
land and naval force raised by Rome.
Very.
Have to be, right?
It's pretty tall. All right. Just checking the forum. There's nothing that we need to be aware of at the end of the Senate phase, which there isn't. We're taking on Second Punic War. We've got our forces. Cool. Let's just double check our cheat sheet. Okay. We've still got the land bill, so the land commissioner stays with the senator, which is Julius. So that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and actually do the combat phase. Commencing now.
Aurelius would like to note that he is happy his helmet fits him.
Good. Blacksmith did a good job. All right, so let me just check messages at my end as well, make sure there's nothing else I need to be aware of. The person who sent me a question via text, the answer is no. All right, just letting you know. The person who sent me a text, the answer is no. I think
you can no longer assassinate people now.
Correct. And that is another good point to bring up is now that the Senate is closed, you can no longer assassinate people. That is another good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay.
What do I do with this dagger?
Yeah,
You know, the
everyone put
the
your
one
daggers
who's
away.
attempted the actual assassination attempt knows the rules the best.
Okay.
Can you wound?
No.
No.
Grievously maim.
Verbally assault, maybe, is about the best you can do.
Froth at your mouth, you'll be fine.
First of all, let's get the total strength of the Senate, please.
Very.
Heaps.
So we got 6,
19
18.
plus 4.
Yep, so 23 legion strength.
Including the
31,
commanders?
31 in total.
31 in total.
Everyone happy with that?
Yep.
All right, and you're not shortchanging Hannibal. So, what is Hannibal's total strength, including the province and his modifier?
23.
23.
And that gives us a difference of what? 31 minus 23?
Plus 8.
8 plus 8, a positive 8, which will be added to our 3d6. Now, tell me, what are our danger numbers, folks?
9 and 10 are our disasters, and our standoffs will be 11, 15, and 16.
I'd like to state Marcus Decimus as the dictator. Aurelius has survived every single war. Don't ruin his cape.
I'm sure there won't be many like chit draws if we hit a disaster with this size of a military force.
This could go ugly.
Please, Aurelius has done so well.
Right. With that, then.
Just realised also that never been to war.
We just missed that.
The first half of that. Your connection was a bit shoddy.
The House of Julia has been field consul 3 times, but is yet to go to war. Apart from the
It
government.
might be due to all the event cards you draw.
Now, at this stage, as per our tradition, I'll hear from the Pontius Maximus to wish our legions blessing before heading off to war.
So we have a prayer from the goddess Fortuna, who's of course the patron of the faction and also the goddess of luck. So just give me a moment to bring that up. Sorry. It's a very small text. Approach strong fortune with precipitous mind and rich abundance to my prayer inclined, placid and gentle, mightily named, imperial Artemis born of Plato famed. While others mourn your hand, averse to bless in all bitterness of deep distress, approach strong fortune with precipitous mind and rich abundance to my prayer inclined. I don't know what that means, but it sounds about right.
It means let's win.
Yes. Roll well.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. With that, I'm going to take a sip to wish you all luck, thanks to Unknown Star with the beverage time in chat. And now we turn our attention to the good dictator with Gladius in hand, with his Alorica musculata being worn proudly on his chest. So a 3d6 is what we require from you right now, good dictator.
Yes. And let's go. And it's a disaster.
God.
And it's a disaster. Oh dear. All right, let's go sort this mess out.
This dictator, I don't think you've had much good luck as a dictator, right?
I don't think so either.
Not a lot.
Has just been tarnished.
You've seen.
Oh, jeez. Perhaps the consuls who elected you should be held accountable.
Who's got a copy of the 1.06 alpha rules open in front of them? If you'd like to do that now, whoever's got the latest rules open, if you haven't already got it, you can get it from the file section of our Facebook group, of course. And I'd like us to turn to the disaster section in the combat phase, and we're going to step through that rule section now. I'd like somebody to actually read it out for us.
It says Amelia should not be affected.
All right. So, in a results of a disaster, the combat results table is ignored.
Yes.
And the battle is automatically a disaster, causing losses of half, fraction rounded up, of all participating Roman forces.
Okay. So that's half of our fleets and half of our legions. So let's start with fleets because they're easier. So how many fleets we got there?
10 in total.
10 in total, so we're going to have to kill off 5 fleets. All right, so I'll now double check which fleets we're going to lose. Stand by, because it's random. The first fleet lost, I'm just checking the numbers. Okay, I'll drag them. So if nobody touched the fleets at the moment, I'll pull these across. So fleet 4 cops the first hit. The next fleet here is fleet 5, cops a hit. The next fleet that cops a hit, it seems to be going up in order, is fleet 6. This is quite convenient. From here is Fleet 1. What are with all the small numbers? That's really unusual. And then finally we see Fleet 22 called out. So I think that's that 5. Yep. The others can stay there for the moment. I'll just drag them up. All right, so I'm just making a discard pile over here. All right, how many legions do we have?
21.
We have 21 legions, so we're going to get rid of... And you say fractions rounded up, did you say?
Correct.
So we get rid of 11. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we lose. The randomizer is first of all going to remove the 8th legion I see, so I'm going to drag that over here. All right. Next one, here we go. All right. And it's going to be... Oh, it's going to be the Veteran Legion 14. Oh. All right, next roll. Okay. And it's going to be the 9th Legion. 3 we've done so far. It's a bit of a slow process. Anyway, that's important that we get the randomization. So it's there, and therefore it's going to be the 6th Legion. Yeah, and then it's going to be the 22nd Legion. And then it's going to be the 15th Legion. What are we up to? 23rd Legion. Stop me when we get to 11. I'm just going to keep going otherwise. We're going to get rid of the 18th Legion there. What are we up to?
Keep going.
And it's going to be the 5th Legion. And it's going to be the 20th Legion.
I believe this should be...
And it's going to be the 3rd Legion. How many more to go?
I believe that's 11.
That's 11. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got one more. Let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, one more to go.
What about the Veteran Legion?
Well, he's still surviving so far.
No, I mean the 14th.
Yeah, I counted him.
It's interesting because we have 10 remaining, yet we had 21.
So how many total legions do you have? Singular tokens.
We have 10 left out of the 21, I believe.
That wasn't my question.
Jesus, who knows?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right? Fractions half rounded up at 21's 11.
Yeah, you got 11.
There's already 11 disposed of.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I must have miscounted then, I think. Good. So we've done our 11. Okay. So we now know our casualties there off to the side. I'm just going to move the surviving Navy across over here. Right. So now we need to do some... well, let's read out the next section. What's the next section you got there, Marcus Decimus? The next line.
You're on mute.
Yep, let me unmute myself. The Roman commander is not necessarily killed, but the mortality chip equal to the number of legions and fleets actually lost in the disaster must be drawn to check for his death.
So 16 death chits I have being required. Is that correct, everyone?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
What's his number?
So we're looking for the danger numbers of 1. And what's Aurelius's number?
19.
19. So these are numbers that we don't want to be drawing here. So the Dictator is going to be drawing the chits. I'd like to do this nice and slow so we can double check the numbers and keep a tally here. We're going to do 16 total draws from the death chit bag to check for death. Is that all?
That's a lot. That's like...
Emilio
price of failure.
survived like
It's about a few.
It's about a few. That is correct. So everybody... make your sacrifices and prayers to the gods.
Aurelius, you said the most prayers.
Remember, chat, count along with us at home.
Okay.
Count down till we eventually die. Let's
I'm not giving any prayers here.
Good Dictator, when you're ready, just do the first one. Here we go.
18.
18. That's a good start. Next, do the next one. At my call, we have
7.
a 7.
16.
6. 19.
There goes Aurelius.
All right,
His
we'll just hold that there for a
record.
minute. We'll come and we'll deal with Aurelius in a minute, but we've seen the Master of Horse cark it, so we'll do that. We'll deal with that in just a moment. Let's see if the Dictator survives.
6 again.
Okay.
11.
Good.
10.
Good.
I want to see a 1.
13.
Good.
17.
Good.
That's me. That's Plateus.
2.
It's all right. Good.
1.
Draw 2.
All right, so you're going to draw another 2 here.
1, 2.
10.
He got another
That's
draw.
another
too.
draw. Another draw 2.
Hang on, I've only got 1.
3.
I've only got and another draw 2. So
1, 2. All right.
20 and 27. So back on
All right,
track now. Here we go.
Weaving,
Now we're back
dodging.
on track.
None. Good.
None.
11. Good. None. Good.
All right, so that's...
We've got
I
2
think
more to
that's
go.
15. Yeah. No, 1 more to go by my count.
I'm only at 14.
Okay, we'll do 13,
Good.
1. Oh.
30.
30.
Hey.
He ruined his perfect record.
Yeah, the draw 2s aren't very nice. So those 2s don't count towards your tally. Although the actual draw of the draw 2 token itself does.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Guys, I'd just like to reiterate that the Dictator has not had much luck in his military conquests.
No.
So,
All right, so let's just go deal with the Master of Horse while we're here. Let's go.
Rolling.
Let me scroll the view. Oh boy, he's losing a bit of lots of medals and gongs and all right, so everybody, we're going to need to say farewell to Aurelius here, which is quite sad. So first of all, if we can request the Master of Horse token and plaque to go back to the sandpit, the away from Rome token can obviously go back. He doesn't have any money, so we don't need to worry about that. And all his tokens go back to the bank, and then of course you can keep his medals in your playing area as a memorial.
What happens if they're the faction leader?
He stays there.
He'll get to stay. The bonus of the faction leader marker here means Aurelius will get to stay, but it's as if he's a brand new fresh senator. Normally he'd go to the Curia.
Okay, but they lose all their influence.
Correct. Loses all his popularity, influence, knights, and tokens. That's correct.
Well, I'm also feeling that's good. Plateus was the leader.
All right, so we'll let Aurelius continue to wipe his card clean, and let's go back to sorting out the rest of the disaster here. All right, continue reading there, Marcus Decimus. What's next?
The unrest level is increased by 1.
All right, nominate somebody to do that.
Can I
didn't
please...
my one die as well too?
No. You weren't at war. You're okay.
Can I please have Aurelius or...
yeah, I'll put it up to...
add that 1 more?
Good. Yeah, just for you, Mark Awedi, yeah, the token draw was only for the affected commanders which were war here. So
Sorry.
any other numbers drawn didn't apply.
Yep.
So
And
you
then
were
the
safe.
final line is the surviving Roman commander remains in command as a proconsul unless recalled or killed.
Good. Now, there's another little section you need to read about popularity loss due to legions. You're going to open up that section again. It should be nearby.
Okay, let's have a look.
Which, based on the number of losses here, it'll take you to about minus 6 popularity, roughly. We'll see in a minute.
Land losses? Let's have a look.
Yep.
Yep. So the commander, regardless of the victory results, immediately loses 1 popularity for every 2 legions lost, rounded down. So 5.
All right, so you need to minus 5 popularity from Cornelius to a minimum of minus 9. I'm not sure what he's currently at. So he's at 0, so he's going to go to minus 5, is he?
It's going to make the State of the Republic pretty hard, guys.
Yeah,
It's all right because I'm not the highest ranking. I'm a
True.
proconsul.
That's
Good point.
true.
While you're still away there on the war card, that is correct. Okay,
So,
now I
Mark,
think
you're
we're
now
all...
the HRAO.
Yes.
All right.
The empty.
We are done with more or less with the battle portion of the combat phase. So let's have a look. We've got no provincial wars we need to deal with, thankfully. So Sicilia is not under attack, and Illyricum, I'm pretty sure, is not under attack. So the only other war out there is the Sicilian pirates, and it has already taken advantage of the province. So that's fine there. Unprosecuted wars. So the first of Sicilian pirates is going to remain there. Now, we actually retain the required fleet support for the Second Punic War. So the decision to send an extra navy is paid off. So the Second Punic Wars will be considered prosecuted this turn, and therefore will not end up in the unprosecuted wars box. So I guess that is some solace you can take away, as well as the commander's survival, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
Cool. We are done with the combat phase. Let's go on to the revolution phase, ladies and gentlemen. So let's check for voluntary retirements for those that are eligible. The Rome Consul is currently the HRAO. We'll start there. Let's just double check stats there. I don't see anybody eligible. So cross to House of Incognita. Nobody's eligible there. Down to Fortuna's Despair. Nobody's eligible there. Cross to the House of Julii. Nobody's eligible there. Noting that Sulpicius is not of age yet. Justitia Meritia. Nobody is of eligibility there. And Pre-Byzantium. Nobody's eligible for retirement there. Very good. Let's talk about intrigue, particularly trades first. Is there anybody who would like to do some trading amongst each other at this stage?
Can you give us a second?
I have a deal that was arranged.
Okay. Now is the time to trade cards freely between each other from your hand.
Does it have to be a trade or?
No. Right, you can be just giving cards. That's fine. If it was for money, the money has to wait till the revenue phase, of course. But if you are doing a card for some other favour, that's fine. Just the one way is perfectly fine. Yep.
So if you drag it and drop it into somebody's play area, does it goes face up or face down?
No, it'll be face down safely. So yeah, if you just drag it into their play area, it'll feature face down. Then they'll be able to right click and then pick it up into their hand. Yep. In fact, that's good. If you can drag it straight into the play area, that'll be nice and safe.
Yep.
Perfect. So.
All right. Are people still discussing some trades, are they? Potentially. I mean, you don't have to say that out loud because if it doesn't go ahead, I guess. we'll give the players a little bit more time to consider some either trades or passing of cards from their hand. Cue some wait music. Very good. Hear some typing in the background, so that means there's some discussion still happening. This is where the intrigue happens, right? This is where the political wheeling and dealing occurs. Card trades, and all cards are of value, right? Sometimes a tribune is traded. Sometimes, a senator or a statesman, of course, is traded. Sometimes bodyguard cards. I don't know. I've never heard of somebody trading a law card, but I guess that could be a trade. I don't really see the advantages necessarily of making a law card as a trade, but or a passing of a card. So again, no rush. We'll let people have their discussions. That's perfectly fine. What we might run a 30-second ad for the non-subscribers right now, and it's earn a little bit of revenue for the channel. Perhaps there we go. So all the non-subs will be watching a commercial for their region right now. Wonder what the commercials on Twitch for Australia are right now. I can't remember. I think it's for one of the. Usually something game related. Oh, Coke. Coke's actually doing a lot of advertisements right now. Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Mountain Dew. Game of Fuel.
All right. Is there people still considering trades? Can we move on yet? No, that's fine. We'll wait. Just checking. Fortuna's Despair and Tiberius Cornelius. I'm seeing a Sicilian grain not assigned properly. Can you sign that correctly?
Yes.
I think it was properly annotated in the proposal. I just don't think you put it behind the card. There we go. Good. Everybody, while you're waiting, just double check your faction influence and faction votes. Make sure they're correct.
I don't feel like updating that.
Yep, worth checking. Seen some heavy losses this round.
It's usual when we have this commander.
Hey, you guys voted him in or appointed him in. Well, consuls did anyway. I don't suppose everybody had a choice there. Right.
Someone had to stand up.
Somebody
and
did.
Defend Rome.
Yep. Not much left. Not much time left to prosecute that second Punic War now.
Assassinations. Now you can stop things like this from happening.
Yeah, it's true. If only Fabius was still around, guys. I think actually, if I remember correctly, it was Marcus's faction that was aligned against sending him away. So to his death. Maybe he was afraid of a good military commander.
If only Scipio Africana was still here.
What happened to him again?
Interesting. I was just going to say,
he died of sickness.
Poached Trout just let us know what the Twitch commercials were in the States. So in the United States, it's for gun safety and Uber Eats.
Jeez.
How are they selling gun safety?
I would have thought you could get a gun delivered by you.
Don't
Uber Eats can deliver your guns.
Yeah.
Don't go film a Hollywood movie.
True. Yeah. That's very sad. Very sad on that movie.
Soon.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Too soon.
All right. As there's still trades discussions occurring right now, players. Yes.
No, I think we're all done.
I think we're all good.
We're all good now. All right. All trades have concluded. All right. We can move on. Very good. Is there anybody that's holding more than 5 cards right now? Oh, thank you to the good senator, aka Jortanos, gifting the tier 1 to Poached Trout. There you go, Poached Trout. So I give a gratias to Senator Draco, who's presented you with a sub. So good on you. Thank you, Senator.
Nice.
All right, so I don't think anybody's got over 5. Looking, there's some people are getting close to 5, but nobody's over. That's great. Okay, now let's finish off the intrigue phase there properly. Starting with the HRAO, asking if people want to play cards. Of course, Rome Consul, Plateus, Erudite faction. Would you like to play any cards at this stage?
Not at this point, thank you very much.
Okie dokie. Let's go across to the House of Incognito. House of Incognito, would you like to play any cards at this stage?
Not.
It sounds like a no. It was a little bit quiet at my end, but I think that was a no. Fortuna's Despair, Tiberius Cornelius. Would you like to play a card at this stage?
No, thank you.
Again, the Senator coming through with another tier 1 sub to Polyculus. Enjoy your sub there, thanks to the good Senator. The subs continue to roll in. No thank you from Fortuna's Despair. House of Julii, would you like to play any cards at this stage?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Justitia Meritia faction, would you like to play any cards at this stage?
No, thank you.
And up to Pre-Byzantium, would you like to play any cards at this stage?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, so lots happening in the background, not much happening in the foreground, and that's okay. No declarations of rebellion to be made because we have no victorious commanders. And checking for the end of turn, you guys are currently surviving. Your treasury is positive. You guys haven't been kicked out because of unrest level. You haven't got an inordinate number of wars. So we are very positive there. Very good. Let's go into mortality phase. We've got no imminent wars to worry about right now, which is good news. Let's talk about war exhaustion. If I could ask Nemurius Aurelius, if you could age both the wars, First Sicilian Pirates and Second Punic War, by the +1 requisite amount, please. So the Pirates will go to 3, and the Second Punic War will go to 5. Give Nemurius Aurelius just a moment just to do that.
The token by the Punic War is
seen. I'll fix that up now.
And I'll let you know about the Sicilian Pirates. Same thing.
Same thing again. Very good. I'll deal with that now. Good. Thank you so much for your assistance. We've aged our wars correctly. Okay. And you guys know this deal quite well now. Ask for assistance if you need it to help age your senators, get tokens. But please go ahead and age all of your senators appropriately, increasing your senators' age by 1. Try not to get it confused. I think so far you guys have been pretty good. So go ahead and age your senators. I love the. I'm just looking at the emotes in chat. The PogChamp Twitch global emote with this. Is it like the really wide gaping raptor or something? It's or is it a snakehead or a lizard? I don't know. It's rather amusing. Very good. So all the senators now are aging their senators correctly, and then once that's done, we'll have a look for those who may be of age that need to do a roll. And lucky our non-subs are saved from ads. It's still too early to roll another ad, so they get to watch the background wheelings and dealings as people age their senators. And judging by the sounds of mechanical keyboards in the background, there are still some discussions occurring. That's good to hear.
Jeez, I need to bust out my normal one. Unless I'm typing around acting like I'm doing back deals.
Yes, he's pretending he's dealing. That's right.
Yeah,
it's all a part of the ruse.
Yeah. Thanks for that message, Marcus. I will. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that out loud. Just ignore that, Quintus.
Let's do some spot checks. How are you at House of Incognita? You all done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Good. How are you, Fortune's Despair? You all done?
All done.
House of Julii, you all done?
Yep, all good.
Justitia Meritia, you all done?
All done.
Pre-Byzantium, you all done? Was that a thumbs up, Pre-Byzantium? Sorry, I might have missed it. Yeah, good.
No, that's all right.
Yep. I saw a flash in my eye, and yes, he is done. And how about you, Erudite Faction? Are you all done?
Just done.
Just done. Good. Yeah, I saw you working there. So I'll give you a couple more seconds. Very good. All right, let's go and do some aging rolls, folks. Let's start with HRAO again at the Erudite Faction. Let's do a check on ages. Zooming in. All right, so we see Julius is fine, Aelius is fine, but Plautius has now hit age 7, the current Rome Consul. This could be interesting if we see a Rome Consul pass while in office. Hopefully not, though. He's only age 7, so we just want to avoid a 6 on a 1d6 roll. So go ahead and roll a 1d6 there, Marca Wedia. Perfect roll. Perfect. That's really good. So Plautius will survive and continue on as Rome Consul for the time being. Very good. Okay, let's scroll across now to the House of Incognita and check ages here. Manlius is 4, Aemilius is 1, and Flaminius will need to do a roll, I see, holding the Egyptian grain concession. You know the deal. Just don't roll a 6 on a 1d6. Good. Look at this. Great rolls. Very healthy senators. I like it. Very fit senators in their old age. Down to Fortuna's Despair. Let's check ages here. A few rolls to do. Furious is okay. He's still a young lad in his early 30s, based on Roman ages. But we do have rolls to do for Claudius and Achilles. Who would you like to do first? Tiberius, Cornelius?
We'll go with Claudius.
We're going to do Claudius first, age 8. So you just don't want to roll a 5 or a 6 on him. Ooh, close, but he survives. Well done. Let's do Achilles now as the Pontifex Maximus. Also does very well. All right, so your senators survive. Good job. Let's go across to the House of Julii. Check ages. Aurelius is 4. Furious is 3. Now our censor is 7. Quite ganged up. Good. All right. So we're going to hopefully he survives here. So maybe you can consider a voluntary retirement in the future. You just want to make sure you don't roll a 6. So go ahead and roll a 1d6 there, Lucius Julius. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? Sulpicius will survive another day. Very good. Across to Justitia Meritia, Quintius is quite young, but Cornelius has finally reached age. And of course, good. I'm pleased he remembered to take the Proconsul token. I didn't mention that out loud, but good to see that you remembered to take the Proconsul token there. So go ahead and roll your 1d6 and just don't get a 6. 3. Nice. So Cornelius will survive to see another day. And here we go, pre-Byzantium faction. Our fingers are crossed very much for you because, things get awkward when you lose your last senator for a little bit. So go ahead and roll a 1d6 and don't get a 6. So let's see if Unius carries on. 4.
Hey.
Nice. Well done. So we are seeing everybody carry on and live, which is that's really good. No, we had plenty of death with the assassination attempt and the death of the Pontifex the Master of Horse. So it's good to see none any in this mortality phase. Excellent. Now let's go into revenue phase, folks. Revenue phase. Yes, Clout Gang says in the chat, being a senator is a family business. He said that earlier. It is indeed a family business. That is correct. Revenue phase, folks. We've got no rebels. Let's do personal revenue. You guys know how this works, so you carry on. I'll just give a rundown for those watching in chat who aren't familiar. 3 talents for a faction leader. 1 talent is the base income for every other senator. Don't forget to add talents for your knights, ladies and gentlemen. Knights for each talents for each knight that you hold. And don't forget that nearly all concessions are required to be taken, except for, I think it's like the armaments one, for example. Now, the question I have, Unius, in the last Senate session, holding the armaments concession, did you take your money for all the legions raised?
Indeed, that's why the concession.
That's why you've got the corruption. I'm pleased that you were paying attention to that. So obviously you won't take the armaments concession this time, but you certainly will for Tax Farmer 1 and 2.
I've got Sicilian grain.
Yes.
Does the drought caused by the Pirates Act have an effect on that card?
Yes, it would. So in other words, it allows you to take the effect on that card. So if I was to zoom in here, so yes, right. If there is a drought in effect, which there is, you can double your income from the Sicilian grain and take -2 popularity if you choose to do so.
All right, I'll do that.
Very good. So he's going to do that and take the popularity hit. And there's only the 1 drought effect, so there's only that 1 effect to 1 set of modifiers to consider. But he will take the additional money there, and has of course revealed the corrupt portion of his card as anticipated. Yep, cool. We see Sulpicius taking his mining and harbour fees. That's good. Of course, Quinticus is taking his tax farmer 3. Excellent. And yep, Julius has taken his land commissioner. Excellent. And right, Flaminius and Manlius of House of Incognito have taken their Egyptian grain and tax farmer. Good. All right, yeah, so for anybody else that has that voluntary ×2 extra concession, make sure you take your popularity hit if you do double it. Of course, 1d6 for the Pontifex Maximus if you haven't already, on top of his base 1 talent. Have you done that for Achilles there, Tiberius Cornelius?
No, I hadn't.
Go ahead and roll 1d6. Let's see how much additional income Achilles can have. 2. So go ahead and give him another 2 talents.
Thank you.
And if you've got governors out there right now, let's talk governors. Let's go. Has anybody taken their governors yet? No? Cool. So let's go to Aelius of Sicilia, of the developed province, which is pretty cool. Would you like to take provincial spoils for 1d6 plus 4?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. And I thought you might have, considering you've taken it previously. Go ahead and roll a 1d6. I see a 5 plus 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So add another 9 talents to Aelius's card back in Rome. Very good. Let's go scroll up to our other province, Calpurnicus, who won't take provincial spoils as a unaligned governor. So we don't need to worry about him. All right. Is now everybody finished taking in their income? And of course, you can now freely do your redistribution if you haven't already started. So passing money between all of your senators, passing money between your senators and your faction treasury, and of course, passing money to other players can also occur now as well. Clout Gang says, Fortuna smiling upon Aemilius. Unknown Star says definitely is more likely karma. Everybody finished redistribution? No other money to move around the field? Everybody happy now?
Yep.
Good. Seeing smiling faces. Let's talk about province development. Let's start with our unaligned senator first. Calpurnicus with the governorship up there. It's not under attack, which is good. He gets to try and develop that on a 5 or a 6 roll. Let's see how he goes today. I'll do that on his behalf. My D6 roll. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Isn't that great? We're going to develop a province thanks to our unaligned senator. Good on him.
That guy.
Yeah. Illyricum. Let's go find the developed province of Illyricum in our little pile up here. It's a bit of a mess. I haven't cleaned it up. So it's not those ones, not that one. If I knew the shape, that might also be quicker. Not those, not Asia. Like not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. It'll be the last one for sure. There it is. Yep, last one. All right, let's bring that down. Let's replace that one. He can go back up there. All right, I'll adjust the size of him later, but it now has a strength of 4 up there now, and we'll give 1d6, a straight 1d6 for state income later, which is really good, and 15 in the local taxes. So that's essentially at least 1 unit that the governor will choose to raise in his turn as an underlined governor. Awesome. And we notice that Secula has already been developed, so it doesn't need to be developed again. Now, Calpurnicus technically gets influence here as an underlined senator. We didn't age him either, and that's my responsibility. So I'm going to quickly age Calpurnicus, and I guess he gets his influence as well. So let's do that. He's now going to be 3 years old. Put the 2 up there. Bring the 3 down. I'm not expecting or anticipating that he's likely to go into a faction at this point. Let's see. He'll get a 5 in terms of influence now because he developed that province. He's doing all right for himself, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Good on him. I'm very happy for him.
So what happens if a non-aligned senator gets automatically elected consul for life?
I haven't seen that happen yet, but yeah, I don't know why a player would nominate that.
It's a neutral way to win the game.
Yeah, okay, everybody, let's pull out your calculators, notepads and pens, and let's do some revenue deductions for the state. So what we like to do here is tally up all of our positives, tally up all of our negatives, and then do a final sum, and then add that to our treasury afterwards, or subtract, depending on what's happening. So everybody ready? Let's go along at home. First of all, let's add plus 100 talents as the base income for the state. Okay, so we're starting off with plus 100 talents. And now we're going to get to go around the board and do contributions. Let's start with the highest ranking available officer and ask those poignant questions. So Mark Awedia as Rome Consul. Is anybody going to be donating to the State Treasury today?
Do we need it?
Probably.
And what was the thing that you required? Was it 10 to get the influence?
Yeah, minimum threshold. So a minimum of 10 talents to get at least 1 influence, yes. And it's got to come, obviously, from an individual senator's personal card now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit too late to redistribute.
Okay, so you can't move it. Well, then it's, too late then. Okay. No worries.
Of course, you can make donations less than the threshold. That's perfectly acceptable. You just won't get any influence.
Okay. No, next time.
No. Okay, that's okay.
Where are the thresholds again, sorry?
The thresholds are on your cheat sheet. So if you look next to 10, contributions, 10 for 1, 50. 25 for 3, and 50 for 7.
Right, thank you.
Okay, let's go across to the House of Incognita. Anybody donating to the State Treasury today?
Amelius would like to donate 23.
Amelius would like to donate 23 to the State Treasury, and that will be good for 1 talent, 1 influence rather. So if you'd like to go ahead and bank that money, and we'll all add plus 23 talents to our current running total. Just too short of that second threshold, but that's okay. At least he'll get 1 influence, so be sure to make sure Amelius gets that. Oh, good, you've got that. Excellent. Perfect. All right, I'll let you finish that banking. Let's go down to Fortuna's Despair. Anybody donating to the State Treasury today?
Yeah, Achilles will chuck in 10.
Achilles is going to chuck in 10, and which he's got. I see that banking. Please make sure you bring back 1 influence to make that 12 for Achilles. So we're going to add plus 10 to our running total, everybody. Now plus 10. Anybody else donating to the State Treasury today? Just from your faction? Tiberius Cornelius?
Oh, sorry. No. I tuned out there. No.
No. All right. Very good. Across to House of Julii. Anybody donating to the State Treasury today?
Not today.
Not today. Cross to Justitia Meritia. Anybody donating to the State Treasury today?
Not today.
Not today. Up to Pre-Byzantium.
Just 1 second, if that's all right.
Yep, that's okay. Have your discussions.
Yeah, I'll donate 10 to the Treasury.
10 to the Treasury. Very good. So everyone else is going to add plus 10 to their running totals. You're going to donate that 10 off to the bank, I see, and make sure you bring back, I think it's a 4 to give him now up to 14 influence, plus 1 for that 10 talent donation to the State Treasury. Very good. Excellent. All right. Now, let's go do, while we're doing positives, let's do the provinces. Let's go to Sicilia. Looking at state income, it's going to be 1d6 plus 2. So Marcowedia for Aelius. If you could roll a 1d6, please. Rolls a 4. 4, 5, 6. So we're going to add a plus 6 talents to our state income right now, ladies and gents. All right, so that's a good roll. For the state income of Sicilia. Let's go up to Calpurnicus. State income is going to be 1d6, so I'll roll that to see what we can get from him. The state will then receive another 4 talents, so plus 4 talents to our running total. All right. All right, let's go now do debts. We're going to do the state debts now. I'm just bringing my view back into play and looking at the state treasury as well. Okay, so minus 2 talents for every fleet and legion, noting we've got some back in the active forces box in Rome and some still at war. Who can give me a total cost for all of our active forces right now, please?
I have 38 if anyone objects.
So it's essentially 19 times 2.
38.
I hear lots of 38s. I think that looks correct to me. So we're going to add minus 38 talents to our running total. Minus 38 talents. Minus 20 talents for every active unprosecuted war. So it's only the unrest level modifiers that's affected when we've prosecuted war, but both the wars that we see here will cost us. So the Second Punic War plus the Sicilian Pirates will be minus 40 talents to our running total. Minus 40 talents. Next, we're going to do our land bill debt, which is 10 talents per year. So we're going to go minus 10 talents.
Correction on that. It's actually 40 due to the Lithuanian War that is now active due to its being past the revolution phase.
Let's go have a discussion. Let's have a look at the writing here. So let's bring it up, double check. We'll bring that into my view. The Lusitanian War, if the Hispania, Soteria, and Hispania Ulteria are not yet provinces, treated as inactive until the revolution phase that they are. So it's still inactive right now. Is that the war you're talking about?
Yeah, is that inactive or not? Because
it's still inactive because you don't have those provinces yet.
All right, then.
Yeah, so it only becomes active if those, at the end of the revolution phase, if those provinces are active, but you guys haven't activated those or haven't liberated those provinces yet. But good test. I'm pleased people are checking that. But no, we're safe there. So, right, it was minus 10 talents for that land bill. All right, and we can now do up our total sum. So what is our total sum that we've got?
65 I have.
No, it's 100 plus 23 plus 10 plus 10 plus 6 plus 4 minus 38 minus 40 and minus 10. What are our numbers? I got one for 64, was it?
65.
65. Any disagreements on 65? I'd like one other to second. Who was our quaestor in the past who was doing sums?
It was meant to be me, but I got distracted.
Are we happy with 65?
Yeah, I'm happy with 65.
I mean, we can change it to like it's 120.
Yeah, we wish.
Just like off that.
Okay. All right. So we are now. Sorry.
65 it is.
Right. Positive 65, I imagine. Good.
Yep.
All right. So
wow.
We now can add plus 65 to the 135 in the state treasury. So somebody wants to nominate to do that. Who's going to do that? So there's not a double up. HRO, maybe you want to sign someone.
I'll do it.
All right, somebody's come forward. Very good. All right, so we add 65 to our state treasury, so that's good. That's nice and healthy looking.
Very healthy.
All right, and while that's happening and being updated, let's go chat to our governors again after we thank the good senator and Jortanos for giving another tier 1 sub, this time to what appears to be Viper. So enjoy the sub there and say gratias to Jortanos for another kindly donation to Nova Roma.
Yay.
Fantastic. Back to our governors here to chat about provincial forces. So let's just double check for Seculia and see where the limits are at. So right now, and I could do a better of tidying this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provincial forces there, and there goes another gifted sub from the good senator to Pew Pew Pawnee is the receiver of that gifted sub. Creative names here. So to Aurelius and Marcoedia as the custodian of the good governor here of Seculia, you got an option now to raise additional forces. You've got 40 in local taxes to play with, but really your only option is to raise an additional 2 provincial fleets because that is your max limits. So I imagine you would like to do that.
Yes.
Very good. So there's no cost to you. What I am going to do is fix the Rainbow Puke, or what we call the Rainbow Puke fix because of the bad connection on the Ninja OBS. I'll fix that now, and I'm going to add another 2 provincial fleets to Seculia. I'll go up and grab those. Scrolling up. There they are. So we now see Seculia is fully maxed out with all provincial forces. Oh, look at that. And the good senator and Jortanos has gifted another tier 1 sub to Writer Amy. There you go, Writer Amy. Enjoy your new sub. Thanks to Jortanos. Another kindly donation there. This is brilliant. Good celebrations. Obviously, we're in the revenue phase, everybody. All this donations coming in. Okay, now let's go talk about Calpurnicus now, who's going to raise provincial forces. He has 15 local taxes to raise here. Now, he can only raise provincial forces. There are no fleets to speak of, and he will do that to the power of 1. Now, we had talked about previously whether he'd use personal funds for this. The jury was still out, essentially, as to whether a unaligned governor would use their personal funds. At the moment, I've stated as a rule that they don't. But he has 15 to play with, so he will raise the 1 that he is able to raise with the local taxes there. So now Illyricum will have 1 provincial legion helping to defend that province. Great. Let's bring our view back to the Centre Forum Sandpit and round out. We've got nothing further to do. Well, let's advance our governor's terms. Let's have a look. So we're going to see... Aurelius is due to come back. So... I'm going to drag, let's go back to Marcoedia. Marcoedia, you can remove the Away from Rome token now from Aurelius. You can put that to the side. He's going to return to Rome now, and I'm going to bring that province back to the sandpit for future consideration of the Senate. Oh. There we go. So his term is concluded. He's had a good run. I'll just drag Aurelius back up to the commander's pen up there, and let's see there. Calpurnicus has still got a turn to go, so I'll go grab him a 1 token. Great. Good to see another governor living out his term there. That's very good. now I think we have concluded our revenue phase. All right. How are we all doing for time, folks? Can we quickly rip through a forum phase?
Yep.
We're all happy? Good. Let's do this. First of all, let's remove event cards in play here. That refuge is technically an old one, but we're keeping it there as a reminder about our weird rogue hero, Philip V, with the first Sicilian pirates. So we're just going to leave that there as a continued reminder for us. Let's go ahead and do initiative, ladies and gents. HRAO is the Rome Consul right now because Dictator is out. So zooming in on the Erudite faction. Go ahead and roll your 2d6 there, please, Marta Corredia. It's a 2, which means you get to draw a card. However,
2d6.
2d6. Yes, good point. Re-roll, but do 2d6 this time. Thank you. Good pickup.
I'm pretty sure you did say 1d6, so I was.
I apologise. It's always a 2d6 for initiative, but it's going to be the same number anyway. Now, as I highlighted in my notes from last session, we failed to bring in that card that was shuffled into the deck. So I'm going to bring that out, which will be your card draw. That's going to go back into really the sandpit, but ultimately into the active wars box. It's the First Macedonian War again. You guys know this card. I'm going to drag that straight up to the active wars box. So that's now back in play. He should have come in a little bit earlier, but my bad, I forgot. But he is back now with this first initiative. Let's go ahead and finish Mark Awedia's initiative. Would you like to make a persuasion attempt today?
Not today, thank you.
Okay. Would you like to attract a knight or pressure multiple knights?
Yes, I would like to attract a knight.
Certainly. Who will be doing that today?
It will be Plateus.
Plateus is going to do any money to the cause?
Yes, he's going to add 5.
Great, that's an auto. Go ahead and bank that 5 with the Bank of Rome, and bring back a number 2 knight token for yourself to turn that into a second knight for Plateus with the knights there. That's very good. Anybody sponsoring games today?
No, not today.
Not today. And finally, would you like to change your faction leader?
No.
Okay, good. That's your initiative done. That's a nice quick one. Go house to the House of Incognita. Go ahead and roll your 2d6. Make sure I say that correctly. We have a 3. You get to draw a card. Let me bring up the deck. Usual deal. Try not to click the deck. All right, there you go. It's showing for you now.
It's just,
good, you've got it. Is it red text or black text?
It's everyone's favorite.
Oh.
Is it a war card?
Goody.
That's usually sarcastic. Bring it out in the sandpit. Let's have a look.
I was going to say, I don't get a card for 2, do I?
What's that? Sorry, your card draw was the one that was shuffled in the deck, so that was a bit unfortunate. I'm going to zoom this in for everybody to have a look. So we're looking at Verathus of the Spanish revolts. Increase the strength of all Spanish revolts if the required provinces for the revolt exist. Now they don't, as far as I'm aware. We have no Spanish wars on the board. Is that correct?
Correct.
We do not.
Nothing in the imminent or the inactive wars boxes, are they? Oh, yes, I do. We've got 2. We've got 2, folks. So we are actually going to see him in play. Now, we'll not automatically activate the inactive Spanish revolts until the required provinces for the revolts are created. Until that time, he resides in the Curia and makes aging rolls. Interesting factor. So although we've got the inactive wars there, which is associated with this hero, he's not actually going to activate those wars. And he's going to end up in the Curia. So that's not a bad draw there, Quintus Octavius. And hopefully we can get rid of him before he comes into effect.
That would be useful.
But I note, though, if the Senate chooses to attack one of those wars, he would then activate.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I would imagine that would be the case.
So sounds like you guys will not be prosecuting the Spanish wars. Maybe.
Good times, guys. Let's just ignore that.
Maybe. Okay, let's finish off the initiative for Quintus Octavius, keeping the ball rolling. Any persuasion attempts today for you?
No, there will not be.
Any knights for you?
Aurelius would like to roll for a knight.
Go ahead, please.
He still gets it.
A 6. Great. Go ahead and grab yourself a knight. I'm going to make a quick reply to someone.
He found his dad's knight wandering around and grabbed him back.
Stand by. I do have to reply to a question in the chat.
Here's assassinating.
No, thankfully no assassinations, which is good. Somebody was just clarifying some rules, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, you've done knights. Would you like to sponsor games today from anybody?
My faction is broke.
Your faction is indeed broke. And any faction leader change from you?
No, there will not be.
Not today. Okay, let's go down to Fortuna's Despair. 2d6, please, at your leisure.
Oh, 7.
Oh, we're going to have an event. It's going to happen sooner or later. We're having a good run. I'm going to zoom in on the random events table here down the bottom of the playing area, and so people can see at home as well. Hopefully the Pontifex Maximus has money. Fingers crossed that doesn't come up. It usually always does. We're due for a bad omen, but again, I hope it doesn't happen. Please, at your leisure, roll a 3d6. Let's see what event we get from the Middle Republic column.
Allied Enthusiasm.
Allied Enthusiasm. That would be funny. We get a 12, which is manpower shortage.
Oh, great.
Good thing we have 200 in the state treasury.
So I'm going to go pull that event out now. So give me a moment.
Bad timing.
Bad timing. Mm-hmm. It always comes out at the word possible time.
Don't worry, guys. We can raise 10 things.
Event cards. Let's go choose. Somebody wants to... I've just revealed the deck. If somebody wants to come on the hunt for me to find the manpower shortage... Can't remember what it looks like. It may not be a card as well. It could just be the token, but I'd like to double check. If somebody finds it before I do, please bring it out. Let's double check these ones. And it's obviously the light blue one you're looking for, not the dark blue variant. What is it? Manpower shortage. It might just be the token.
I believe it's just being the token.
Yeah, I think so. I don't see any particular event here that represents manpower shortage, and that may be the case. Yeah, worth checking, because sometimes they invoke an additional strange rule or something. No, I think it's just the token, and I'll just double check that later. But all right, let me just bring the token up for now. Very good. Where is that? Down here. There it is. Manpower shortage. 20 to each unit. Drag that up. I'll put that right next to the State Treasury just to alert us when we go to deduct. Let's finish off your initiative there, Fortuna's Despair. Any persuasion attempts today?
I asked you a question in text.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Did I respond? You asked me... Oh, sorry, in a text message, sorry. I don't know.
In the Roll20 text.
You sure you sent it to me, or did you whisper to somebody else by accident?
I thought I did it to you, but I might have gone somewhere else.
Okay, I don't see any messages from you. That's all.
Okay, right. That would explain why you didn't answer me.
Okay, good. Did you want to ask it now via a particular method?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So I do actually find a space on my ranks.
Oh, yeah.
We're a man down. So I'm going to invite Manlius from the House of Incognito to fill that space.
Aha. Right. So let's flip our cheat sheets over to the persuasion attempts equation. Who is going to be doing the persuading today, good sir?
Furious, number 8.
Furious, number 8. And he has an influence of 15, I see.
Yes.
Very good. We'll need to certainly know that. And what's his oratory there? I think it's 3.
Correct.
That'll give us a current total of 18. All right, let's scroll up and have a look at Manlius here. Manlius. Now, he's got no talents on him, noted. His loyalty rating is 7, plus his alignment modifier, which is plus 6, is it? Or is it 7?
7.
It is 7, yes. Plus 7 alignment. There it is, down the bottom. So currently looking at a total of 14 there. 18 minus 14 leaves us with a base number currently of 4. Is that correct, everybody? So we now ask the question of Fortuna's Despair. Does Furious wish to make any bribes at this point in time?
I think 9 is the number, isn't it, to aim for?
That is the most economical number that you'd want to aim for, correct?
All right, so I'll make a bribe of 5.
He's going to make a bribe of 5, so please place that on Manlius's card directly right now, and we'll bring that base number to 9. Excuse me. All right, and let's whip around the room in clockwise order, and let's just double check nobody wants to make any counter bribes to that offer. So let's go to the House of Julii, coming from faction treasuries, ladies and gentlemen. House of Julii, any counter bribes from you?
There's none from me.
None from you.
See, another assassination attempt is needed.
Justitia Meritia, any counter bribes?
No counter bribes from me.
Prebosanium? No. Erudite?
I have nothing in my faction treasury.
All right. House of Incognita, any counter bribes?
No, I'll just rain check an assassination.
He's going to rain check an assassination. All right. So more or less, I was going to say unopposed there, but let's roll that 2d6 and get a 9 or less. 2d6.
Yes.
6. He's done it.
Assassinated. All right.
Go ahead and grab Manlius.
What happens to the tax farmer?
Comes with him.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you're definitely getting assassinated
now. Yep, that'll go with him. Yep. Try not to grab the whole board playing area. Would you like me to help you?
I think I've got it.
Okay. Good. Yep. Perfect. You've got everything there.
That replenishes the ranks. I took his medals. Do you want them back? I don't care for them.
His medals. There's Flaminius's medals.
Oh, they're Flaminius's medals. Yeah, you better give them back.
yeah, you take those. That's going to be a bigger issue here.
Make sure you update your faction votes and faction influence now that Manlius has joined the ranks. Feels much more masculine in that faction now. There you go. Let's finish off your initiative there. Anybody sponsoring games today? Sorry, let's do a knight. Let's talk about knights first. I missed that.
Yeah, Furious will go for a knight as well. He'll try his luck and just put in 3. See what happens.
Okay, so with 3 talents, so you're already getting a 6, so 5, 4, and a 3. So you want to roll anywhere between 3 and 6 inclusive. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So donate those 3 talents to the bank and bring back a number 2. So you'll now have 2 knights to play with there for Furious in the future. Very good. Anybody sponsoring games today?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. And any change of your faction leader?
No.
No is the answer. All right, House of Julii, 2d6. Let's see how you go. He will roll a 7. Another event.
I think it was 11. It's a 5 on my thing. The dice is stuck halfway on my thing.
Yeah, look at chat. The chat will always give you the definitive answer.
I said the 11 too.
Yeah, it sometimes does some weird graphics freezes, but as per the chat is the authority, a 6 and a 1.
Maybe just re-roll, to be sure.
I'm happy with the 7.
The dice got caught on something. We need a re-roll.
Random events table. I'm going to zoom in there. All right. When you're ready, 3d6 this time to check the middle column. Let's see how we go. It'll be a 6. And 6 here is a natural disaster. I don't think we've seen that one yet, have we?
No.
Isn't that the 50 talent loss one, if I recall?
It might be. I think this is pretty heavy.
I think we actually maybe have.
Let me crack open the event deck for everybody to see, and first one to find it wins. Let's have a look. Make sure you get the light blue one, not the dark blue side. I can't remember what the picture looks like. Natural disaster, is that what it's called?
It's called Allied Enthusiasm.
I can see one's for Storm at Sea. That's not the one we want.
Is it in the possibly in the what do you call it? Death pit, whatever.
It could be. Let me just check the discard pile as well. Discard. Nothing in the discard pile.
Found it.
Good. Please drag it out for everybody's benefit. Please, there are some people more apt than I helping me search.
It's the volcanic picture.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Ah, yes. Oh, Sorry, you're dragging out to the sandpit, are you?
Yep.
Cool, thanks.
Just have to zoom out.
Yep.
Not an epidemic?
Thankfully not an epidemic, but maybe just as ugly. Let's zoom it in for everybody.
Is needed again.
So, everybody, it should be up on everybody's screen now, and for everybody chat at home. Poached Trout has already given us the pre-warning what it means. So, the State Treasury must immediately pay 50 talents for relief, and then we're going to roll 1d6 and destroy the corresponding concession as follows, depending on that result. The concessions go to the Curia. If the roll concession is already destroyed or not in play, there is no additional effect. Okay, so if I could ask pre-Byzantium faction to deduct our 50 talents from the State Treasury, please. We'll do that first, and then we'll ask the event roller to now roll that 1d6 to see what is destroyed as a result of this natural disaster. Mount Vesuvius erupts.
Well, Sulpicius has mining and harbour fees. So,
oh, no.
So a 6 would be nice here.
Okay, let's see what he gets.
Or a 5.
Or a 5, which is going to destroy armaments. And who has armaments? I think that's pre-Byzantium.
That's me.
Throw that concession into the Curia, if you will. You wouldn't, but you have to do it anyway.
Yeah, like when you go all will, I'll take the option of no.
Right, natural disaster. Good to see a variety of events, although unfavourable nonetheless. Let's finish your initiative there, House of Julii. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
Should try Copernicus.
Depends if Marcus is going to leave Terentius for.
I think everybody should leave it for Aurelius.
I think so.
Given his threadbare ranks, I think it would be
aging senator. So
thanks for the support, everyone.
I think it'll be the good thing to do, and a way to judge the character of anybody that does not.
Yeah, and given that Terentius was originally from the House of Julii, I think he left because of the hair issue with Aurelius, but so no, we will not be making a persuasion attempt today.
Okay.
Well done.
All right. Any attraction of knights or pressuring of multiple knights, good sir?
Yes, we're going to. What's the opposite to attracting a knight?
Pressuring knights.
Pressuring knights, and we're pressure. You can only do one each turn, right?
Only one senator can pressure knights or attract, right?
Yes. So Sulpicius can pressure all 3 of his.
If he chooses to do so, that is correct. Yep.
Okay. So Sulpicius will be pressuring 3.
Okay, very good. So it'll be 3 independent 1d6 rolls. Just to make it nice and clean.
3d6. Oh, okay.
I suppose you could do a 3d6 because it does show us the individual rolls, whatever you like, I guess. So here you go. There's 1. So you're going to get 1 talent for 1.
Shall I do it again?
And then you're going to get a 6. So that's a better result there.
So I'll add 7 talents to Sulpicius and remove those 3.
Have you done your 3rd roll?
He did a 2d6.
Oh, sorry, you did 3. Oh, I see. Yep, I wasn't watching the initiative. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Yep, so go ahead and you can add those talents right now. And all right, you're going to remove your 3 knight markers. Good. It's good to see people pressuring knights. You don't often see that a lot in games, so that's good to see. Anybody sponsoring games today?
Yes, Aurelius.
Aha. Aurelius is going to sponsor games. And what sort of games is he sponsoring?
He's going to sponsor a Permfest.
Cool. What's the what value is that?
That's 13.
That's the 13 talents. That's good for 2 popularity, and that'll also reduce the unrest level by 2.
And make
which is nice. So maybe if Quintus Octavius, could you reduce the unrest level by 2, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll move 7 of those over to Sulpicius now. And take
away. Yeah, that's clean. That's good.
And I'll remove his minus. I'll take his -2 popularity.
Good, and make sure. Oh, he goes back to 0. That's right. That's good. Nice. Good to see Aurelius is an indifferent man again. That's great. Will you be changing faction leader today?
I will, and it will be Aurelius who's taking over.
Okay. Aurelius is going to take over as faction leader. Good to see some faction banter there. All right, that's your initiative done. Let's go to the Justitia Meritia faction. 2d6, good sir.
6.
It is a 6. You get to draw a card. Nice. Middle Republic deck is shown. Go ahead. Okay, you've got it. Red text or black text?
That looks like a red text.
You'll keep that private for now. Any persuasion attempt today, good sir?
Now, the Senate has raised an idea of leaving this senator for our poor, belligerent pre-Byzantine faction, which I do agree on. But the Justitia Meritia faction has also had a concerning little number of senators for quite a number of time. I would like to propose for the rest of the Senate a open deal that the next available unaligned senator that is within actual goal of recruiting to a faction be left to the Justitia Meritia faction to attempt to do so.
Senate, I would just like to say that this strikes me as extortion. Simply, if I have to give up the senator, I will. Perhaps I've got some talent saved away. Maybe I'll just simply recruit one of your senators from your faction, Marcus, if required. So, I mean, how you want to play this is up to you, but I simply don't think that the rest of the Senate should be beholden to my low number of senators. So I wish to give you all free reign to disagree with this. This deal.
In that case, I allow the Senate to make their own decisions. I'm
not telling them what to do. I'm simply saying you can disregard my feelings and simply act with your own intentions.
I wouldn't be keen to. Yeah, I wouldn't be keen to agree to an unknown card.
I mean, I guess it should be said as well that simply other senators could perhaps counter bribe, so it could be a lose-lose here, Marcus, for you. If you wish to deny me the one senator, so be it. But I'm not sure if that's in your favour or not.
I'm not trying to deny anyone any form of senator. I'm just
you're threatening to deny me if we don't give you yours. So I guess it just depends.
I'm just saying, you're throwing a bread bun between two starving men, and as the rest of the fat cats point and go, no, let the other starving man have it. I purely throw myself towards the rest of the Senate and say, throw down 2 bread buns. Allow both the starving men eat.
The dictator has only himself to blame for his position.
Now I'm not a dictator no more. I am a lonely proconsul.
The ex-dictator.
The ball's in your court, Marcus.
In that case, if there is no one wanting to grab my suggestion, then I will go for a proposal. I'm trying to try to pull a senator to my faction. I will be
very telling.
I will be using Quintus. And I will be trying to influence the unaligned senator that we currently have.
Very good. So let's have a look at the senator in Rome. That's good. His influence is 7 plus his oratory of 2, which gives us a current of 9. Let's just double check from our target size. So Terentius has a loyalty of 6 only and no money on him. So that currently gives us a base number of 3. Let's go back to Quinticus here. Are you doing any bribes today to sweeten the pot?
Sure. I'll put a bribe in of 5.
5. Go ahead and put that on Terentius's card. So that will bring us to a base number of 8. Base number of 8 right now. Going around in clockwise direction, just checking for counter bribes. Pre-Byzantium, any counter bribes from you? Faction Treasury.
That has to come from Faction Treasury, no. So
nothing from you. Erudite faction.
I have nothing in my treasury.
Nothing. House of Incognita, counter bribes.
Have nothing in mind.
All right. Down to Fortunatus Despair, any counter bribes?
No, thank you.
House of Julii, any counter bribes?
Yes.
Coming from the Faction Treasury.
It is. Terentius was going to come back to the House of Julii if he could, but if
all right.
is being stolen.
How much from the faction treasury today?
There is 8.
8. All right, go ahead and bang that on Terentius's card, if you will, from your faction treasury.
It's going to make it all the worse for you.
That makes it a base number of 0, and as we know, on a 2d6 you can't roll or equal to 0, so therefore we won't proceed with the roll unless he really wants to see what he might have gotten.
No, it's fine.
Okay, but Terentius will stay there, eagerly looking at the outcome of Copernicus and hoping for the best. Let's finish off your initiative. Any knights or pressuring of knights today, good sir?
Yes, I will try to attract a knight.
I'm assuming for Quinticus, go ahead and roll your 1d6.
Nope.
3, unlucky. Any sponsoring of games today?
Negative.
Any faction leader change?
No.
Okie dokie. Up to pre-Byzantium. 2d6, good sir. Finish this off. You will roll a 5, which gives you good for a card. Let me reveal the deck. Just be careful not to click on it. Okay, over to you. Deck is revealed.
Draw.
So did Marcus Decimus not get the senator?
Correct, he failed in the persuasion attempt. The counter bribe knocked him down too much.
Red text.
Red text, that'll be private for you. You get to keep that for now. Any persuasion attempts today, good sir?
No, thank you.
Not from you. Any knights today?
Yeah, I'll roll without putting any money towards anyone.
Roll a free naked roll. Go ahead and do a 1d6. You will get a 3. Unlucky there. Any sponsoring of games today?
No, thank you.
No game sponsorship. Any faction leader change? No, there won't.
No.
And that will conclude initiative for everybody. Let's put Rome in order. Everybody holding an office right now, so a purple marker, please go ahead and grab a major corruption marker from the side, please. So that will be Plautius, the Rome Consul. That will be Pontifex Maximus, which is Achilles from Fortuna's Despair. That will be Aurelius, the Field Consul from the House of Julii. The Censor, Sulpicius from the House of Julii. And Cornelius as Proconsul, but that's probably be mute. As he's currently away and will be away until after the censor presides, but just for completeness sake. Make sure you keep your purple tokens on their cards, though, for now. So, looking at you, Lucas Julius. Yep, yeah, that's it. Good. I think that's everybody. Everybody's got a corruption who's supposed to have one. Good. Okay. From here, Second Punic War is active, folks, as well as Hannibal. So we now need to roll, see some farm concessions destroyed. To the Rome Consul with Marca Wedia. If you could roll a 1d6 first of all, let's see if there's any farm concessions destroyed. You'll roll a 5. Who's got tax farm of 5? That might still be destroyed. Let me double check. Yes.
Yeah, that's me. I've got that.
If you want to throw that into the Curia, please. Tax farm of 5 has been destroyed by the Second Punic War. Drag it across the Curia. Good, that's on its way. Please roll another 1d6 for Hannibal there, please, Marca Wedia, to see if there's anything else destroyed.
1d6?
Yes, please. That is correct. It will be a 1 this time. And I think, who's got tax farmer 1? That is Eunice. Yeah, please drop tax farmer 1 into the Curia, please. Tax farmer 1 gets destroyed. All right, and now we get to roll to see if they all come back. So, Marca Wedia is going to do some more rolling for us. Let's start at the top of the Curia and work our way down. Let's see if we can get rid of Wirathus of the Spanish revolts first. So, as you can see from the rules, a 5 or a 6, we can get rid of him. So, please roll a 1d6 and hopefully get a 5 or a 6 off that. No, he will live another day. Let's now do our senators, starting with who's on top. Let's go with Fabius. Let's see if Fabius comes out. A 5 or a 6, please, Marca Wedia. No, Fabius is going to stay there for the moment. Who's next underneath? Valerius. Let's do a Valerius roll now, please. No, Valerius will stay. And now let's look for Papirius. Another 1d6, please. No, he will also stay. All right, now let's do our concessions. Let's start with Tax Farmer 5, please. Another 1d6, please, Marca Wedia. No. Tax Farmer 5 will stay. Let's do Tax Farmer 1 now. So 1d6 again. No. Tax Farmer 1 will stay. Let's do Armaments. Another 1d6, please. No. Armaments will stay. And finally, Tax Farmer 4. No. Wow. So unlucky. I don't think we got anything then, did we?
No.
Not a thing. So they will remain destroyed or dead for a little bit longer. And that will now put Rome in order. If everybody could please update your vote tallies and your faction tallies as well. And we'll start to draw this session to a close. But, it was a significant night tonight because we do see the departure of one of our players from the House of Julii and Lucius Julius Vorenus. He has indicated that he will not be able to participate further, which is very sad. We would very much like to have seen him continue. But nonetheless, we're going to still continue the game post this session. So we're making arrangements over the next week to work out how we do that. We may be recruiting in a replacement player, which may be exciting and will certainly bring some interesting dynamics, I think, going forward. So we'll continue to negotiate that over the next week. But I think to Lucius Julius, certainly from me as I guess the sort of the curator of this game, I'd like to pass on my personal thanks for coming on board and being such an enthusiastic player. It's been a pleasure to have you as a part of our family of senators here, and it's been great to see your face every week that we've played. So if everybody could give him a round of applause for his contributions to this game, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Any words you'd like to share with us now that this is perhaps your last session, maybe for this year?
Yes, no, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. The part I was looking forward to the most was the politicking, and I think that this year's crew really have got into that and embraced that spirit, and it's been a lot of fun. And I will certainly leave me on the list. I'd like to keep the updates, and I'll probably pop onto the YouTube and
Great.
Certainly looking forward to seeing what happens next week, which I can catch up on the Tuesday or Wednesday. But no, I want to thank you all. I've spoken to all of you individually outside of the game and with some plans, and everyone's been really, really, really responsive, and it's been a huge amount of fun. So it's a shame that I can't carry on. I think I'm leaving the House of Julii in a very, very strong position.
Absolutely.
I think Sulpicius could be looking at hanging his boots up next year as well, whoever takes over. So, I wish you all good luck with the rest of the game. And thanks for making it so enjoyable.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Gratias tibiago to Lucius Julius Vorenus. Great final words there as well. And certainly you can keep up to date, both in, of course, the Facebook group, but also the YouTube, and of course live on Twitch. Should you be bored during one of your meetings, perhaps in the future, you can stream live. That's great, folks. Well, from here, I'm going to do my end of session summary, but we'll just take a moment to transition. I'll say farewell to our senators in the background, and I'll be right back to discuss today's session. So don't go away. We'll be back very soon. Okay, and we're back. Thank you very much for your patience while we transition and farewell our senators in the background there. We've now concluded session 11. Perhaps a little bit sad that Lucius Julius is going to be departing, managing the House of Julii for us. But the good news is we're looking to bring in a new player. Then that's going to create some interesting dynamics and certainly a challenge for our new player to come into what is such a mature game. Hopefully, he'll get a lot of good in-brief from Lucius Julius to take over the faction. But there's a whole bunch of resources that we certainly provide to our players, and hopefully they do their study. So we'll talk about speaking to some new enthusiastic players who might be able to take on that role and manage the House of Julii for us. But for now, Rome as a whole, the remainder of our factions are still well and truly prosperous. The treasury is pretty good. State unrest levels still in good control right now. We see the wars aren't too bad. They did suffer that disaster with the Punic War this session, which is not ideal. Quite a heavy loss there. Big popularity loss, of course, for Cornelius. Cornelius as the Dictator too. And that war is starting to age. So that is now an age 5 war. they've got this Senate session and this combat phase coming up to have another go at the Second Punic War, and I think they would be silly not to try and attack it again. They've only got the 3 wars on the deck. They've got the First Macedonian, which has just come back, which was expected. The Second Punic War, as we've just mentioned, and the First Sicilian Pirates. The Sicilian Pirates is 3. It's a pretty small war. It does have Philip V increasing the strength by 6 there. First Macedonian is 12, but it's essentially a brand new war. It's not an immediate threat right now, although it does attack Illyricum and Macedonia. I don't think they've got Macedonia as a province yet, but certainly Illyricum, so they'll lose the effects and the income from Illyricum, which is about a 1d6 worth for the state treasury each turn. Not a big loss maybe, but certainly that's something they'll need to consider, particularly for governorships, because I think they just renewed that governorship there. So they'll have to think about who will step into the fire to manage that province. And then, of course, for that Punic War, so they've really only got 2 combat phases left to defeat it. Now, scarily, if they face another disastrous standoff this next turn, they've got one more turn to face it, and if they still are defeated in a disaster standoff or stalemate again there, that war is age 6 at the end of that next combat phase advanced in the next week after. And then that means all players will lose. So they've got 2 sessions to really get rid of that Second Punic War now. So we're starting to get a bit tighter, a little bit more concerning. And what makes it hard is the amount of disasters and standoffs. I think, I wonder, the strength of the war is certainly a problem, but I wonder if there's an ability for them to send 2 forces, maybe of less probability of total victory outcome, which these guys like to try and achieve. But to try and mitigate some of the disasters and standoffs. So if they hit a disaster or standoff number with 1 army, they can stand a better chance and have a better probability with a second army. But really, it's a numbers game. But the unfortunate factor here is they've got that manpower shortage, which came up as an event. So it's going to be costly to try and re-raise the troops again to try and take on that Second Punic War. They've got 9, 10, 11 in strength in terms of land forces there, 11 to 15, plus another Dictator Master Horse. It just starts to get them into the positive as a modifier roll. Then they'd have to roll really high on the 3d6 combat roll to work it out and get that positive. Let's have a look. Poach Trout said, I've been worried about the Second Punic War for a few sessions because of those disaster standoff numbers. Yeah, they are certainly a big factor. And look, the Second Punic War was a thorn in the side for the actual Rome in history for many, many years. It was about 16 years, I think. Hannibal was marching out of Rome before he was forced to retreat through to attrition and orders from Carthage back home. So hopefully, and I certainly hope that our Senate can get rid of the Second Punic War next session. Otherwise, it's going to be a very stressful Senate session the year after that and the session after that in session 13. So let's see what happens in session 12 next week. We'll get to continue, even though Lucius Julius is not with us anymore. We'll get a replacement player in, hopefully for the House of Julii, and we will continue. We'll march on. Now, perhaps the longest published game published on the internet right now of Valley Games, in this form anyway, in video form. So let's continue that trend at least for another 2 sessions, maybe more, depending on what happens with that Second Punic War. All right, that's it for today's session. It's been a blast. That was session 11. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Thanks to Jortanos for all those gifted subs that have come through. And of course, if you have subscribed or followed when we weren't live, thanks very much for that as well. I noticed there was at least 1 sub and other follows there. So welcome to all of our new Romans who have joined us here on the Nova Roma channel, your home for all things Rome here on Twitch. I am Decimus Aurelius. Thank you very much for tuning in for another session. It's been awesome. We'll see you same time next week right here on the Nova Roma channel. Thanks for watching. Walete.